Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to the SNU football field here in Bethany for today's GAC matchup featuring the Northwestern Rangers and the Southern Nazarene Crimson Storm. James Hill here with you this afternoon on a little bit of a cool but a beautiful day here in Bethany, Oklahoma, and I am joined today by Mr. John Hale. John, welcome to the program.
Well, I've been on this several times, but it's great to be back on the mic. It's great to be here back in Bethany. Beautiful day, almost no wind. I mean, there's a little bit of a breeze, but I don't think anything that would severely affect anything. Otherwise, absolutely beautiful in about the 50s area.
I don't think anybody's going to be complaining about the weather today. As I said, a little bit cooler, but I think we are welcoming that after the heat wave we have had for the last couple of months. An intriguing matchup today between the Rangers and the Crimson Storm, two teams that come in with a 3-5 record, as well as a 3-5 record in the GAC. So the Nazarene, after starting 3-2 on the season, on a little bit of a 3-game losing streak, looking to turn that around here this afternoon, while Northwestern comes in losing their last 2 games, as both teams looking for a win this afternoon. John, one of the first things that kind of stands out to me, I think what will be the matchup of the day is going to be the passing offense of Northwestern against the passing defense of Southern Nazarene.
And I think you're right. I mean, I think another thing that interests me too is Southern Nazarene's defense in general. They haven't been very, very good against the run. Opponents have been going right up the middle and pretty much owning the line of scrimmage against SNU. So they kind of come up against a break with Northwestern, who likes to air it out a little bit. But then you look at Northwestern, they may have picked up on that too, and they're thinking, how often is Northwestern going to go on the ground today? Otherwise, they own the skies in the GAC. So it'll be interesting to see how the defense for SNU stacks up against the offense for Northwestern Oklahoma State, which is kind of night and day. I mean, they are known for putting up high 40s and 50s, and then just last week they got shut out basically against Arkansas Tech, and they only put up 10 points. So it'll be interesting.
If you look at Northwestern, they are number 1 in the GAC, number 12 in the nation in passing offense, averaging just a shade over 300 yards a game. As I mentioned, Southern Nazarene, number 3 in passing defense at 198 per game. Could that be deceiving? As you mentioned, a lot of teams, especially in this conference, like to run the ball, and that's where Southern Nazarene has struggled a little bit this season. On the other side of things, this could be what the Southern Nazarene offense is asking for, an offense that has struggled some this year, but they're facing a defense that has also struggled a lot.
Well, we were talking just downstairs with our graduate assistant, Tanner Stiles. This is kind of like Texas Tech versus Texas going on. Both teams having kind of struggling offense and a little bit of a struggling defense. Now they come up and they just have to see which one just decides to play better football on that particular day. So it'll be interesting. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how Northwestern stacks up against SNU, and I'll be looking to see just how often they're going to run. And Jacob Spady for SNU has to play big today, and he hasn't been doing very, very well through the air. I mean, he's the first quarterback, or one of the first quarterbacks in SNU history to pass for 2,000 and run for 1,000 in his career. He's going to have to do a little bit more with his arm, because his legs we know, but defense are starting to kind of catch on to his kind of play style. So Northwestern's going to be trying to shut him down. He might get loose a few times, but he's going to have to really stretch that arm out today.
This is the 14th meeting between Northwestern and SNU, a series that the Rangers lead 12-1. Last year, the Rangers picked up a 42-9 win in Alva. Jacob Spady had a nice game, throwing for 185 yards and rushing for 25, as Southern Nazarene only had 268 yards of total offense to the Rangers' 529, including 323 through the air. So that will be interesting, an interesting dynamic throughout the day. And so, John, just tell me a few players on the Southern Nazarene side. Who are some guys that you think are going to be some impact players today, and who's going to need to stand out to come away with a victory?
Well, we talked about Jacob Spady and just how much of a threat he is on the offensive side of the ball. And once again, SNU will need him to perform very, very well. On the defensive side, I'm looking at 2 players. I'm looking at Zach Lloyd as well as the rest of the defensive line for SNU. How often are they going to be able to pressure the quarterback Weed for Northwestern, and how how often they're going to be able to get into the backfield. Zach Lloyd, an underrated pass rusher and a pretty good run stopper. On the other defensive side, in the secondary, looking at Josh Jordan. Josh Jordan's recorded quite a few interceptions on the year, and today just might be his day. In tandem to that, Derek Carmouche, he had a pick 6 against Northwestern Oklahoma State. Not against Northwestern Oklahoma State, against Henderson State, excuse me. But since then, it's kind of become a little bit quiet. But now you're coming up against a team that likes to throw the ball around, so they might get a few opportunities today.
I think another interesting dynamic for the Crimson Storm will be Reed Roloffs. Obviously, he is what gets this passing game going. He's caught 5 touchdowns on the year. You mentioned Spady, 15 touchdowns on the season, 7 through the air. 7 on the ground, 8 through the air. And then, as you mentioned with Jordan, 79 tackles this season, 3 interceptions, a forced fumble, and 2.5 tackles for loss. He has been quite the playmaker on defense. If you look at the Northwestern side, obviously it's going to start with Isaiah Weed. First of all, his efficiency passing is very impressive. 121 for 190 on the season, 1,453 yards passing, and 12 touchdowns. So Weed obviously can toss the ball around everywhere. He's going to be tough to deal with. Anthony Cota on the ground, 6 touchdowns, 514 yards rushing. And then Deshaun Gordon and Horatio Smith, they combined for 7 touchdowns and almost 1,000 yards between those 2 receivers. They will be interesting. Dakota Driscoll, another one to watch on the defensive side, 70 tackles on the season, 3.5 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble. So that is the matchup we are looking at today with Southern Nazarene and Northwestern. We have a few GAC games going on right now, John. Give us a quick little update on what's going on around the GAC as Northwestern gets ready to take the field. Well,
our game started a little late. Let me just refresh our page right here, see if anything else has changed. Okay, so we have 2 games that are going to start right now. Of course, ours here, and Arkansas Tech and East Central going down in Ada. Just a quick drive going to the east. So our 2 games will start right now. We're one of the later games. There's a game that has actually gone final. So Ouachita Baptist took out Arkansas Monticello, a team that SNU fell to last week. So Ouachita Baptist Tigers defeat the Boll Weevils 55-21. Going on in Shawnee, SNU's arch rival, the Oklahoma Baptist Bison, are currently ahead of Southwestern Oklahoma State, next week's opponent. They're up 21-14. Harding is taking it to southeastern Oklahoma State right now, 28-3 in Durant. Big time game for the Bisons. And going on in the other Arkadelphia school, both Arkadelphia teams in their home today. Southern Arkansas currently leads Henderson State 21-14. But just in the middle of the third quarter, there's a lot of football to be played.
And here comes the Crimson Storm as they enter the field. As we're getting ready to get this matchup going, about 2 minutes away. The coin toss is underway. Jacob Spady out in the middle of the field. Looks like maybe a couple injured players also out there with him. And then for the Rangers, you have Eric Cook, Peter Stosick. It looks like Shane Collins. And trying to catch the last one, as it looks like the coin toss was run by the Rangers, and they're going to take the ball. They want the ball right away. They want to get on offense.
Well, with a high-powered offense like Northwestern, they like to set the tone early. You'll see this with other high-octane teams. The first thing that comes to mind is Texas A&M likes to do this sometimes, and a couple of Big 12 schools like to do this, and they run that up-tempo, high-powered air raid offense. So Northwestern going to pick up on that.
So it's almost game time here in Bethany. Southern Nazarene taking on Northwestern. Again, a beautiful day here in Bethany, in the mid to high 50s. Not a cloud in the sky, sunny, and as I said, just a beautiful day for some football. Barely any wind in the forecast. As well as we mentioned, 2, 3, and 5 teams, both looking to kind of get off the schneid a little bit. Both, as we mentioned, SNU on a 3-game losing streak, Northwestern on a 2-game losing streak. So one of them trying to get back on the right path here this afternoon as we get ready to get underway. We appreciate you joining us here on SNUathletics.com. James Hill here with John Hale on the call as the SNU kickoff team hits the field. It is almost game time here as we will get ready to bring you the broadcast live here from the SNU football field. It'll be Carlos Anguiano set to kick off here. for the Crimson Storm. And back deep, it will be, it looks like number 12, Miles Mitchison. That's a mouthful. And I believe that is number 1, Horatio Smith, both back deep. Anguiano sets it up. And we are underway here between Southern Nazarene and Northwestern. It's going to be Smith taking it at the 5-yard line. He heads towards the middle of the field, now breaks it to the outside. Now he cuts it right back to the middle, and he's going to be wrapped up by a host of Crimson Storm defenders right at the 20-yard line. Josh Jordan, the first one in on the tackle.
And you'll notice as soon as he got there, he was already hammering for the ball, trying to strip that thing away. So Josh Jordan already setting the tone that he wants the football very badly.
So out comes the Ranger offense. As we mentioned, number 1 in the GAC in passing offense, number 12 in the nation, averaging just over 300 yards a game. The quarterback on the field is Isaiah Weed, wearing number 7. Anthony Cota, number 5, in the backfield. 3 receivers to the left, 1 tight end on the right. He's going to hand it off to Cota. He goes to the left side. Not a lot of room. He's actually going to lose 2 yards. And a great play there by the SNU defense. Looked like number 5, Brayton Jackson, in on the tackle.
It was Brayon Jackson.
Brayon, excuse me.
So, and here's what Northwestern might want to stay away from. SNU hasn't been playing very good defense. They're going up the middle, but when they run to the edge, SNU can pursue very, very well.
Weed's going to go to a shotgun formation. Tight end's going to come in motion. 3 receivers to his right. And they're going to hand it to Cota again. A little bit of a surprise here, but they're going to go to the ground game first. Cota picks up about 7. It's going to set up 3rd and 5. So it looks like the Rangers trying to establish a little bit of a run game here early on. We mentioned what SNU struggled with the run a little bit this season.
Well, Cota's a big load, coming in at 6'2", 244 pounds, a senior out of Manteca, California. He is a load. Just a big bowling ball in there, so SNU going to have to bring multiple bodies to stop him.
They're going to call it 3rd and 4. They got a fullback into the game in the shotgun formation. Cota still in the backfield, and they're going to give it to him again right up the middle. He is going to grind his way forward. Boy, he was stopped about 2 yards short, but he just kept churning and picks up the first down at around the 32.
And we haven't seen a pass yet from Northwestern Oklahoma State. So once again, they may have picked up on SNU really struggling up the middle. So here's where Northwestern will be setting up that play action pass, because eventually if they just keep running it up the middle, SNU will just pound the box.
And Cota, there is the play action. Weed's going to go deep down the middle of the field, and it's broken up, almost intercepted. It looks like he was looking for Gavin Gardner. And great job there by the SNU defense. Derek Carmouche on the breakup. Carmouche has been another great player in the secondary for SNU this season.
I touched on it. He has a pick-6 on the year that came against Henderson State, and after that play, he was banging on the turf like, oh, I should have had that. He might get another one soon.
Weed back in the shotgun formation. Cota to his left. They're going to hand it off to Cota. He's looking for a hole, and Josh Jordan brings him down, maybe a yard on the play. Jordan coming up from his safety position and making the tackle.
Josh Jordan, he's just a great athlete. He's all over the field. As soon as he sees a run, he's very fast into the hole, and he can take a runner's legs out. He's not that big, as he just took down a 244 running back. But
standing at 5'8" as well.
Right, so
shotgun formation for Weed here on 3rd and 9. 3 receivers to his left. They're going to play action pass. He's looking towards the right side. It's incomplete, broken up. Great play there by number 21, Dorian Harris, and it's 4th down.
Now that's a big stop for SNU. Now here's where SNU, they've already got a win under their belt in this game so far. They stopped a team on their opening possession, and now they got the sideline, they got the crowd into the game, because as we saw earlier in the year, they let a touchdown go early, and it kind of deflated all that attitude and all that swagger. So SNU, big win already.
Brendan Brown back to punt. He sends it off. Harris is waiting for it. He's going to take it at about the 28-yard line. He moves to his left. He's got a lot of space. He's down the sideline, cuts back, and he's going to be forced out of bounds at the 45. A great return. We've already said his name once, by Dorian Harris. And it'll be 1st and 10. SNU, great field position to start this game. This is the start the Crimson Storm want.
Exactly. This is already the best start that we've seen from the Crimson Storm already so far this year. And looks like they're gonna talk a little bit on a media timeout. So I guess we'll take one as well.
And you're watching SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. So It's going to be 1st and 10 for Southern Nazarene here at their own 46-yard line. First drive of the day here for the Crimson Storm. Jacob Spady in the shotgun formation. Walker's going to come in motion. Spady back to pass. It's a quarterback draw. He goes to the left side. He's got a little bit of room, stumbles a little bit, but he's going to be very close to the first down. Finally forced out of bounds. I think it will be enough for a first down.
It's going to be just on the line.
And they're going to call it first down as Driscoll forced him out, but not before a great run there by Spady.
So they'll reset the chains. Now SNU, they'll normally go a little bit of a faster tempo, but they're a little bit slower than a lot of the other teams in the GAC who like to go a little bit faster.
So 1st and 10 here for Southern Nazarene. Two backs in the backfield. Looks like Nate Walker as well as Ramos. Walker's going to go in motion. They're going to hand it to Ramos to the left side, and he's going to lose a yard on the play. Looks like number 47, that would be Michael Arvey on the tackle for loss.
Now Ramos, what they like to do with him is they'll pound it, and they'll take those small negative plays and a couple of like 3-yard carries, but eventually they know that if they keep feeding Ramos, he'll break one wide open.
It'll be 2nd and 11 here for the Crimson Storm. They're going to send 2 receivers each side with Ramos in the backfield in this shotgun formation. Spady, man in motion, and it's going to be Carlson. They fake it to Carlson, and a big run there, and a nice, about a 7-8 yard gain by Spady. It's going to set up 3rd and manageable.
Great read by Spady. Kind of caught the defensive lineman just kind of frozen on the turf. Didn't know where he was going, caught him right in the read.
And it will be 3rd and 4 here for SNU, their first 3rd down of the game as they look to the sidelines. And as you mentioned, this is a team that moves a lot slower than a lot of teams we've seen in the GAC that like to just no huddle and move and move and move and get as many plays off as they can. SNU will run that play clock a little bit and try to almost like just a slow pace as Carlson's going to come in motion. This time he does take it. He's going to the right side. Nice cut. He got the first down and more, and he will go down to the 30-yard line. A beautiful cut that got him the first down. Reese Carlson on the run on the jet sweep.
Now, we've touched on it a lot during this season. Reese Carlson normally just set up in the outside receiver, but they moved him to running back or a fullback position a little bit this year, and he's done a lot better than he did last year.
It looks like they're trying to get the ball in the hands of some other playmakers other than Spady to try to get them in some space. As Spady's going to come out in a shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the left. And Walker came in motion with the hand to Ramos. Ramos up the middle to the left side. He's got some room. Flag is down, and it's in the area where it could be holding. We'll see what the call is in a moment. Ramos picked up about 8 yards, but it may be coming back as we will await the officials' calls.
And SNU's already heading back already. They know.
And it will be a holding call on the offense, so that's going to negate the 8-yard run from Ramos, and that's going to make it 1st and 20 for the Crimson Storm. We've mentioned on our last broadcast against Washita Baptist how penalties in the second half absolutely killed Southern Nazarene as they were playing for an upset in that game. Penalties like this, when you have a good drive going, can really affect putting some points on the board.
Oh, big time. They will kill any sort of drive that you want to put together. And SNU played a really good first half, but that second half penalties really destroyed it.
Ramos takes the carry there. This time only picks up about 2 as a host of Rangers in on the tackle. First one is number 96, Malcolm Palmer. And so it's going to be 3rd and 18, so a long way to go here for the Crimson Storm. And we'll see what this offense can draw up on 3rd and actually, excuse me, 2nd. I was looking at the scoreboard there. It's actually 2nd and long, my mistake there. So see if they can get some yardage back to set up a 3rd and manageable. So 2nd and 18 as Brady comes in motion. It's going to be a tight end screen to Brady. Middle of the field is wide open. He's up the middle of the field. He's going to take it all the way. Touchdown, Southern Nazarene. 38-yard touchdown pass from Jacob Spady to Devin Brady. Beautiful play call.
Great play call, and they haven't been using a lot of their tight ends recently, but whenever they do, they usually come up with the big plays just like that one. Devin Brady, I believe that's his first touchdown since that that Henderson State game, which was the last game that SNU won. Big time play for Brady, and a great A great pass by Spady.
Spady, a great look there. An excellent play call. Just set up the screen on 2nd and long, and that middle of the field was wide open as Anguiano is going to come on for the extra point. And the kick is up. And it is through the uprights. 8:40 to play here in the first quarter. Your score, Southern Nazarene 7, Northwestern 0. You are watching SNU Athletics here. Or you're watching SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. A 6-play, 54-yard drive that took up 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Jacob Spady, 38-yard pass to Devin Brady, gives SNU a 7-0 lead over Northwestern. Great drive there for the Crimson Storm, especially taking advantage of a 2nd and 18 and being able to still get points on the board. Anguiano is going to come out for the kickoff, and back deep it will be Horatio Smith and Miles Mitchison. As Anguiano sets, and the kick is away, and it's going to head towards Horatio Smith again. He takes it at about the 1-yard line. He's heading towards his right side, looking for some space. He's got nothing. He's going to be dragged down. Almost lost the ball there. First one in on the tackle, number 14, Gustavo Sanchez. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for Northwestern at their own 19-yard line.
And now SNU with another big opportunity on defense. If they can get off the field relatively early, get a 3-and-out against a very, as we've said, a prolific Northwestern offense, and get the ball back, that's already putting this game in a brand new light.
So out in the field comes Northwestern Isaiah Weed at quarterback. They're going to start in a pistol formation with Anthony Cota, who was heavily used on their last drive. Weed will take it, hands it to that's your read option. Weed keeps it, and he's going to be dropped at around the 20-yard line. Excellent tackle there to bring up 2nd and 9. And it looks like it was number 22, Daniel Flynn, on the tackle. 2-yard gain will bring up 2nd and 8.
Now Daniel Flynn, kind of a smaller guy at 5'10", 170, but he'll come up and deliver one of the biggest hits on the SNU defense.
Weed, it's going to be a little kind of option throw to Cota, and he has nowhere to go. He's dropped for about a 2-yard loss there. This time it's number 23, Miles Roll, and it's going to be 3rd and 10. Northwestern just, it's like they're trying to do something they don't usually do, and it's backfiring right now.
Well, it would be fine if they decided to run up the middle where SNU has kind of been vulnerable, but they want to run to the sides, and SNU's playing pretty good defense this year whenever you see teams run to the outside.
It's going to be 3rd and 10, 2 receivers to each side of Weed. In the shotgun formation, Cota to his left. He's back to pass, the lefty looking, he steps up, he fires, and incomplete, broken up again. Number 21, Dorian Harris, his 2nd breakup today, both coming on 3rd down.
And SNU, they came into this game, you can see it, they knew that Northwestern was going to try and spread the ball around, find those open spots. SNU just closed up those holes really fast.
We have a timeout. Referee's calling for timeout on the field here for a moment. Not sure what's going on. Maybe resetting. We're going to take a minute. It's 4th and 10, though, here for Northwestern. They're going to get set to punt for the 2nd time today. Dorian Harris. Tell me a little bit about Harris. I mean, so far today, off to an awesome start. Has made some tackles and 2 pass breakups, both on 3rd downs.
Well, Dorian Harris, he kind of came in last year as kind of an undersized, really fast guy. He he didn't make a lot of lights go off as this guy was going to be an incredible athlete. But as this year has gone on, you can see his work ethic and you can see him play really great defensive football. And SNU knew that they would use him on the special teams part of it, but in terms of defense, they're really impressed. The coaches have been very impressed with his defensive playmaking skills.
Brown's going to get set to punt for the second time today. Harris is back at about his own 42-yard line. He had about a 15-yard return the first time. Brown, a little rugby punt, and it's going to hop and it goes into SNU territory, but not a great punt. That's close to midfield where it goes out of bounds. That's a short punt, and it's going to be great field position again for SNU at their own 47-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. And we're going to go straight into this drive. No media timeout this time as Spady's going to take control here. 1st and 10. 7:07 to play in the first quarter. Crimson Storm already up 7-0 and looking to add to this lead. So, you know, we talked about in the Ouachita Baptist game getting off to a good start. That was one of the Crimson Storm's problem earlier in the year is that they get off to slow starts and then really pick it up in the second half. How big would it be to go down and try to get some points here for a good start?
Any sort of points, even if it's just a field goal right now, if SNU gets it, that's already a great step in the direction. Then they just got to keep it going because they had this against Ouachita, as we see Spady take it up right here, right up the middle on a read option, gains about 5 yards. But they started out pretty good against Ouachita Baptist, but then it kind of got away from them in the second half. So they got to learn that we got to play 4 quarters of good football.
And it was about a 6-yard gain there for Spady to bring up 2nd and 4. He does the read option so well. And so second, they're going to have, well, you don't see this very often, 4 receivers to the right, nobody to the left other than the running back Ramos, and we have a timeout, I believe, called. No, we have a flag down. And it's a false start. Well, that was a unique formation you don't see very often. You kind of had 4 receivers to the right side. All were lined up a little bit more off, where you kind of had the tight end almost in the backfield, if you will. But definitely some different and creative, I would say, formations there by the Crimson Storm. Let's see if they stick with it here on 2nd and 9 after the false start.
See, at first I thought that was a penalty for too many men in the backfield, but shows you what I know. And same formation.
Yep, 4 receivers to the right, and it's going to be a handoff to Ramos through to the left side. And he's going to pick up, looks like he fights forward, maybe picks up about 4 or 5, gets around the original line of scrimmage, and another 3rd and manageable here for SNU. So 3rd and 4 coming up as SNU looks to the sideline. And they're going to send 3 receivers here to the left side. And Ramos in the backfield. Tight end is set up to the right. Spady back to pass, looking. He's got Walker wide open, and he catches it, and he gets into Northwestern territory down at about the 26-yard line. We were saying in the first series how we didn't see Zach Walker. Well, there's Zach Walker making his mark there on a big first down.
Well, we didn't see Zach Walker at all. He didn't come into the series. He didn't come into that first series, but Nate Walker was in there. We didn't call his name either.
So they're now in this, as I like to call it, kind of a pistol full house. Ramos is behind Spady. You have Reese Carlson to the right and Zach Walker to the left, all in the backfield. So it kind of looks like a full house type of formation, but it's still a pistol set. And you have 1 receiver to the left. Spady is going to give it to Walker. Actually, he's going to keep it himself and go right up the middle, and he gets dropped at about the 21-yard line, a 5-yard gain. A good read option there by Spady.
And now he was selling Walker really, really hard, and Walker, he's one of the faster people on the SNU offense. So once he gets in space, he's a dangerous weapon, and he can tiptoe on that sideline even when it looks like there's no room. So Walker, a big weapon even when he doesn't have the ball.
Zach Walker's catch went for 21 yards on this drive. Pistol set here for Spady. Walker will come in motion. They fake it to him. To the left side comes Spady. He's around the corner. He is going to have the first down, but a late flag comes in, and we'll see what the call is here. I imagine it could be against SNU again, and it is going to be against SNU. You can kind of see Spady throw his hands up as he's talking to the head ref. And it's going to be another holding call, 2nd of the day. Now, it didn't cost SNU on the last drive of the holding call, but it's still kind of a backbreaker as they're going to go back 10 yards for 2nd and 15.
And you're right, James. It's a 2nd and 5 is just a whole different animal than a 2nd and 15. And SNU just Well,
it's a spot foul. It ended up being a spot foul.
Spot foul.
But still 2nd and 11 in this case. But still, what you're alluding to, 2nd and 11 is still a big difference than 2nd and 5. As a pistol set here for Spady. 2 receivers to each side. We're almost in the backfield. Been really impressed so far with the play calling here from SNU in the early goings, as we're down to about 4 minutes here in the first quarter. Carlson's going to come in motion. They're going to fake the jet sweep, and right up the middle comes Spady, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, the 21-yard line, where it's going to be 3rd and 5.
Now you see Will Bates just plow a Northwestern defender, and he got a really good block there for Spady. Spady just, if the outside linebacker doesn't track, Spady's going long.
Bates, a freshman lineman, 6 foot 280 out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma, leading the way there at his left tackle spot, and was able to create some space. So now a 3rd and 5 here, as play clock is now under 10. And it'll be a pistol formation with Carlson to the right. Walker comes in motion. They're going to fake the jet sweep again, and Spady's going to be very close to the first down, but I think he's going to be about a yard short. So that'll bring up 4th and 1, and I think I can already see the play calling on the sidelines. They may be going for this.
I was even going to suggest that, James. I'd be going for it right here. Make a statement on offense, set the tone, and get a first down already in the red zone.
And you're trusting your defense here, because if you don't get it, it's 1st and 10 to 17 for Northwestern. So you got to trust your defense in this set. Pistol formation here for Spady. They're going to give – oh, no, he's tackled in the backfield. Looks like it was tripped up. They faked it to Carlson, and it looks like it was a mix of number 24 for the Rangers, Maurice Wright, as well as number 48, who is not listed on the roster. Both hit him in the backfield for about a 3-yard loss. Big stop there for Northwestern.
Big stop there, and you could see it coming as Northwestern put 10 guys in the box ready for whatever SNU was going to give them. And I mean, they had run the Spady read option the entire way down there. Why stop? SNU should have caught on that and probably just get a little quick pass to Walker once again.
Weed in the shotgun formation as they take over 1st and 10 at the 20. And the new running, actually it's going to be a read option by Weed, and he has hit in the backfield a host of SNU defenders. Ball came out, but they're going to say forward progress was already called, but it was about a yard loss. A host of D linemen in the backfield.
And that's what I talked about in our pregame. The D line has to be ferocious against this Northwestern offensive line and make Weed's day just a nightmare. And right there, that's just perfect example of what SNU is going to be needing.
2nd and 11, Peyton in the backfield for Northwestern. Weed back to pass, looking, pump fakes. Now he's going to go into the backfield where Peyton is, and the defense not able to wrap up as Jacob Peyton made a few men miss and got out of bounds at the 25. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for Northwestern. And so far today, I believe Northwestern is 1 of 3 on 3rd down. This is their 4th third down of the game. And they're going to bring the big guy, Anthony Cota, back into the game. He was the one who picked up a first down from Northwestern earlier in the ball game. Looks like Peyton's going in motion. They're going to give it to Cota. Cota's got a little bit of room, and he's rumbling down the left side of the field. Picks up around close to 15 yards. Late flag comes in, though. So we'll see what this is all about, but about a 15-yard gain. And looks like some Northwestern players shaking their head. This could be coming back.
Probably the exact same penalty as we had against SNU in their last drive.
So we will await the call. I see a couple linemen just kind of throwing their hands up, not very happy. And it looked like it was pretty late in the play. It looked like he already had the first down by the time the flag was thrown. And call coming up here shortly. And it's going to be an after. They'll get the first down, but it's going to be a personal foul against Northwestern, and that's going to send them back 15 yards. So they get the first down. They'll get a new set of downs, but they're basically going to go almost right back to where they started, as it'll be 1st and 10 from the 24.
Now, obviously no penalty is good, but Northwestern's thinking, well, we're back to where we started, but hey, we got 4 new downs to go 10 more yards, so they'll take it.
1st and 10 here for Northwestern at their own 24-yard line. Weed claps, And they're going to give it to Peyton. Actually, they play fake to Peyton, and they were looking for the tight end, Jamar Morris, but it was overthrown. A nice play action there, but it did not fool the SNU defense. Jamar Morris, a 6'4", 237 junior. He is a tall target there for the Rangers.
He's a tall target, and it's easy for him to make catches, but another great defensive play by Dorian Harris. He was all over him.
2nd and 10, man in motion here for the Rangers. They're going to give it to Peyton, and he has nowhere to go. Maybe got a yard on forward progress, but it's going to be 3rd and long again for the Rangers. We had talked about this SNU run defense, their struggles this year. They have come out ready to play.
It seems like it's night and day, James. Like we were talking about, SNU can't really quite get inside, stop the inside run. They do great against the outside run, but they just haven't been able to stop right in between the tackles. But today they're having pretty good success.
And I think one of the things you're seeing is the defensive line for SNU actually dominating the line of scrimmage thus far. So 3rd down, Weeds back to pass, looking, fires, almost intercepted by Harris. His 3rd pass breakup of the day, and that's going to bring up 4th down. Boy, Dorian Harris is having a heck of a first quarter.
Dorian Harris right on the receiver, great break on the ball. He probably could have come up with an interception right there.
And if he did, he may have taken that one to the house. He had a lot of green in front of him.
A lot of green.
But they'll take the pass breakup to bring up 4th down and a 3rd punt of the day here for the Rangers as Brendan Brown back out to punt. He sends it off, a pretty decent punt here. Harris is going to have some room here as he takes that to 27-yard line to the right side, gets up the field, and finally out of bounds. Let's see where they'll mark him. They're going to stay out at around the 37-yard line. So 34 seconds remaining in the quarter as it is still 7-0 Southern Nazarene. So first quarter, you go down, you get a score. You get another good drive that you couldn't come away with any points, got stopped on 4th down. Your defense has gotten 3 stops and has held Northwestern to absolutely nothing. If you're a coach right now, what are you telling your team?
Keep it up. Keep it up. Defense, you're playing great. Offense, we had one bad play. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's try something different on 4th down if we get in that situation again. But in other words, the battle in the trenches. SNU's winning the battle in the trenches, and that's if they want to win this game, that's where they have to continue to succeed.
And before the handoff to Walker, we got a flag down. I believe this is going to be the 3rd penalty on SNU here in the first quarter alone. As it's going to be the 4th penalty of the first quarter. As it is a false start call that's going to bring him back 5 yards and bring up 1st and 15. And so penalties right now a killer for SNU in some of these drives thus far. And so we are going to look at 1st and 15. 32 seconds remaining in the first quarter, already 7-0 here, SNU. Walker is in the backfield with Spady. 3 receivers to the left, a tight end on the right. And that would be Nate Walker in the backfield with Spady.
Well, both Walkers are out there.
And you have Zach Walker as a receiver to the left. Good catch there. Nate Walker is in the backfield. And they're looking, and oh, it's intercepted. That was there's a flag down. Well, the ball ended up hitting the ground. It looked like for a second that number 24, Maurice Wright, came away with a pick, but it ended up hitting the turf, and they called it incomplete. However, we might have a pass interference here.
Oh, it's going to be pass interference as Maurice kind of bumps Reese Carlson, disrupted his route. So SNU is going to get 15 free yards here, which is not what Northwestern needed to give SNU at all with the success that they're having on offense. But that's just any other time, that's a good play, just not that time.
So a pass interference there. They had the man-to-man coverage. And so it's going to be 1st and 10. It looks like it was a spot foul, so they're up to the 41. They basically just get a 1st and 10 on this case. As it'll be shotgun formation for Spady, 3 receivers to the left. As they're going to set up a screen to Carlson. A little bit of a mess here, though, as he's going to be driven backwards by a host of Ranger defenders. Aaron Barnes, the first one in on the tackle, and that might do it here for the first quarter, but that play kind of looked like a mess from the start as they were able to get penetration on the screen. And we are going to run out the first quarter, and that's going to end it. We will move to the second. It'll be a 2nd and 10 for Southern Nazarene after we come back. Your score, SNU 7, Northwestern 0. You are watching SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. 2nd and 10 here, start of the second quarter. SNU leading Northwestern 7-0. Spady's going to come out, 2 receivers each side, and he's got Nate Walker in the backfield, and he's going to go back to pass. Spady steps up, throws it deep. Oh, did Roloffs make that catch? What a catch by Roloffs, and they're going to say incomplete. I don't know about that. A beautiful one-handed catch. I honestly thought he had 2 feet down. I thought that would have been good in the NFL, but they're saying incomplete. Maybe he bobbled it a little bit on the way down. It was on the far side from where we can see. But even so, what a catch there by Roloffs.
Well, Roloffs, he only has 5 touchdowns on the year, but what doesn't show up on the stat sheet is the type of catches he comes up with. He can catch them around defenders. He can reach up and grab them with one hand. He can make circus-style Odell Beckham Jr. type of catches.
Well, and he had a great catch against Ouachita Baptist as Spady's back to pass again on 3rd down, looking for Roloffs. Almost intercepted, dangerous pass as it was number 4, Eric Cook, jumped that route and almost came away with an interception, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, Spady's lucky that hit the shoulder pad and not the hands of Cook. Otherwise, Northwestern would be starting out the second quarter with all the momentum. Now, SNU's very, very happy that if they're going to give the ball away, it's by the leg of Anguiano.
Anguiano sets a punt. First time today Anguiano's out on the field for a punt. And Deshaun Gordon is back deep for the Rangers. Looks like they're going to send some pressure here as all of them were lined up. And actually they went back for the return. Great punt, though, as it's going to hit at around the 20-yard line. Oh, almost touched it there. They're going to say – well, they didn't make a call. Now they're making a call and saying that it was touched or that it's going to be downed at the 10-yard line. For a minute, they made no call. It looked like it was going to be a touchdown there for a minute. But instead, it'll be 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line for Northwestern. But a great punt there by Anguiano, putting them deep in their own territory.
At first, it looked like it wasn't going to be that great, but then it took an SNU bounce, looking good. I thought that he touched the ball with his hand.
It was close. It was close. He put his hands up like he was going to grab it and then thought last second, nope. And it was a little tough to tell from here, but it was close. And the SNU sideline thought they had a turnover as Weed's going to come out again in the shotgun formation. And they're going to hand off to Peyton up the middle. He's got some room, and he's going to get a 1st down. And here comes a flag yet again. Late flag in, and we'll see what this is all about, as it was about a 15-yard gain for Peyton. And I should mention there is actually a new quarterback in the game. It is Jake McClurg into the game for Isaiah Weed. And it looked like it was a hold against Northwestern as they're going to go backwards. Could have been a spot foul here. And it is going to be a spot foul. So they go really right back to they're actually going to the 9-yard line, so a very rare 1st and 11 here for the Rangers. But now we've got McClurg in the game. Don't know if this is just switching it up or if Weed has an injury. Leclerc's going to hand off to Peyton again. He's got a hole here, but he goes to the right side, and he's still going. He's close to the 1st down. Actually hit the 1st down marker, and now we have another flag, and I wonder if they're going to call a late hit out of bounds here on SNU, as that flag came in right after the tackle.
And that's exactly what it's going to be.
So a personal foul against SNU is going to give Northwestern 15 more yards, and for probably the first time today, Northwestern finally starting to move the ball and getting into some better field position as they move up to the 31.
Now, if you add the penalty to that, that's the best run that Northwestern's had today.
1st and 10 for Northwestern. Shotgun formation. McClurg back to pass, looking down the right side, and incomplete. And another flag on the field. Well, it's going to be one of these days, huh?
It's definitely been one of these drives.
As he was looking for Gavin Gardner down the sideline. Maybe a little too much contact would be my guess, as it's right in that territory. Pass interference, and I got to say, that is a touchy foul. That is a very touchy foul. I mean, it was called on number 20, Jekyll Davis, who was step for step with him. I didn't really see any pushing or shoving. He just seemed to be right there with him.
Now, if they're going to call that, which we both agree is very, very touchy, that's if Jekyll Davis slightly touched him out of bounds, so maybe that's what they're calling it on.
Shotgun formation. They're going to hand it off yet again, and we have another flag. This is the 4th straight flag. This one, I believe, is going against Northwestern. As the whole crowd went in unison in a groan as they saw, I believe, a holding on that. And
you can already see the ref facing the other way and say, "Yeah, just give me the call to back up."
This has been an ugly drive. Let's just call it as it is. 4 straight penalties, 2 on Northwestern, 2 on Southern Nazarene, and we're going to have 1st and 20 now. And what's going to happen next?
Well, you saw number 44, Tristan Slinker, just get really fired up after that play.
Coda's back into the game in the backfield with Jake McClurg, the backup quarterback for Northwestern. And McClurg's going to go back to pass. He's looking, feeling a little bit of pressure. He goes to the right side. Now he's going to take it and run up the field. And a nice little gain there from McClurg. Gets about 8 yards. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and 12. No penalty this play, thankfully.
Thankfully, we can keep playing.
So 2nd and 12 here for Northwestern. You don't see that often where you get 4 straight penalties on a drive. And you've already had a few penalties in this game. I'd venture to say they're combined for over 10 already here in the first half. McClurg back to pass. He's going to look down the right side. Incomplete. And he was looking for Gavin Gardner. He is tall receiver standing at, he's actually, Gardner at 6'4", a sophomore out of Newcastle, Oklahoma, was just streaking down the sideline. But again, good coverage by Davis.
Now that's still a pretty big receiver.
Yeah,
6'4".
Yeah. Not as big as Washington Baptist guy who was 6'6", but it's still some good size. As 3rd and 12 here, 3rd and long. McClurg back to pass, looking, feeling some pressure. He's going to run up the middle again. He's got some room, looking for that 1st down, and he is going to get it. That is a backbreaker there for the SNU defense facing 3rd and 12, and McClurg is able to run for the 1st down.
Now Northwestern starting to get a little bit of steam here. They're starting to see, hey, if we can't pass on these guys as effectively as other teams, maybe we can run the quarterback a little bit.
1st and 10. They're going to give it to Peyton. He's right up the middle. He's a shifty guy as he gets about 9 yards. First time they've been in SNU territory, and now they're down to the 33-yard line. So Northwestern's got a little drive going here where it'll be 2nd and 1. I tell you, Coda, you can tell, is your kind of big power back. But Jacob Payton, a little bit shiftier, can really find some space and put some moves in the hole. McClurg on the play action, back to pass. He's looking to run, and he's still looking to run. He gets away from a would-be tackler, and he picks up the 1st down again. You know, for a minute I thought McClurg was just going to run it, wasn't even looking for anybody downfield. Then when he felt some pressure, he kind of stepped back again, but then was able to put a move and pick up the 1st.
But it was just barely, though, for a 2nd and 1. So any other play, that's a great defensive stop, but –
well, and SNU is going to have to wrap up a little bit. They have not done a good job of wrapping up the quarterback here in the backfield when they've had an opportunity. Play action to Coda. McClurg back to pass. Pump fakes. Throws down the sideline. Out of bounds and back in, but it's incomplete anyway. Dorian Harris on the coverage looking for number 1, Horatio Smith. Great coverage yet again by Harris.
Now, that would have been illegal touching anyway because he was out of bounds and then
Hat
came
was
back
on the
in.
ground. Yep. And so it is 2nd and 10. And I tell you, it looks like for the most part, SNU is just playing man on these receivers, which is a big deal for a team that passes the ball so well. If you can just man up with these great receivers, you can usually do a pretty good job with the running game.
And they automatically pick that up as a false start. I believe that's the right guard just kind of got a little bit of a twitch.
So 5 yards back for Northwestern. You got to give them some credit. This is their 3rd penalty of this drive, but they've been able to keep this drive going despite quite a few penalties. Got to give them some credit there. The other thing you've noticed so far with Northwestern, they're really trying to hit down the sideline. They really haven't worked the middle of the field much in their passing game. We'll see if that changes throughout the game. They've really tried to hit one-on-ones down the sideline. So it'll be 2nd and 15.
Not quite yet. The clock was running past that penalty, so they got to reset the clock real quick.
They're resetting the clock. Looks like we're set to go now. Now 2nd and 15. 2 receivers and a tight end to the right of McClurg. And a play action. He's going to roll to his right. He's going to fire, and it's intercepted! Intercepted and down the left side. And it will be intercepted by number 5, Brayon Jackson. And he brings it on to about midfield. Man-to-man coverage again, but he stepped right in front of that out route and got a great return out to the 49-yard line.
Brayon Jackson, he's an older leader on the SNU defense, and him getting, as you'll see with his teammates all surrounding him, with him getting an interception like that, that's big time. Big energy booster for SNU.
McClurg was rolling out, and it looked like he almost baited him into that throw, just kind of stayed a little bit behind, waited, and then jumped right in front of it. And so a big turnover there for the SNU defense is going to make it 1st and 10. At the Crimson Storm's 49-yard line, we're going to see this full house pistol formation with Carlson, Walker, and Ramos all in the backfield. Spady at quarterback. They're going to play fake to Ramos. They're going to go deep on the first play. Looking, and it's going to be incomplete. They were looking for Devin Brady. Coverage there by number 4, Eric Cook. The fans want pass interference because Cook technically never turned around, but I believe that rule in colleges no longer exists per se. And so it'll be an incomplete pass. I like the call. Take a chance there. Big turnover there. Let's take a shot deep.
Well, it's a great play call with all that momentum that you had, but that's just great defense down there. Didn't touch him, just had his hands up, it hits him in the back. That's great defense.
Yep. Absolutely. So it'll be 2nd and 10. They'll stay in this pistol formation. Interesting to see, SNU has kind of opened up the passing game a little bit, seeing Northwestern load the box as Walker's going to get the carry here. He's got a big hole. He's up the middle. He could take this all the way inside the 20 to the 15 and finally dragged down around the 12-yard line. Huge run there by Nate Walker, as it'll be around a 40-yard run down to the 10-yard line. 1st and 10, SNU.
Now, both Walkers, Nate a little bit more so than Zach. Once he gets in space, he's really dangerous because he's so as shifty as he is.
So, again, now Zach Walker is going to check into the game, and he's in this pistol full house formation as they will look to the sideline. 1st and 10 here at the 12-yard line. Walker, a 39-yard run deep into Northwestern territory, so SNU going to try to add some more points to the board here. They're going to hand it off to Carlson. Carlson cuts it up inside the 5 and down at the 3-yard line. Excellent cut there by Reese Carlson. Second time he's done it. He's come outside, made a great cut right back up the middle to pick up extra yards, and it's going to be 2nd and 1 inside the 5.
Just barely 2nd down here.
So SNU can pick up a 1st down here, even though they are at the 3-yard line. And they're looking to add on to the 7-0 lead, as they're going to flip this pistol formation. Nate Walker is back into the game. Now they flip right back. Still plenty of time on the play clock. It just went under 10. And they're going to hand it to Ramos. Ramos, right side, cuts up, and he's going to be short, and he actually did not even get the 1st down there.
Oh, he's pretty close, though, James. They might give it to him.
As a host of Rangers, I believe they're going to call it 3rd down. It's going to be 3rd and inches, though. And let's see what the Crimson Storm have up their sleeves here on 3rd and short. Remember, they can get a 1st down here. They don't have to get into the end zone.
I do believe that if they don't get a touchdown here, that's just a big loss for this SNU offense. They got to at least get a 1st down here and get a new set of downs.
They're going to give it to Walker, and he's hit in the backfield and loses about 4. Oh, what a play there. That was number 26, Shane Collins, dropping him. Oh, it was about a 7-yard loss. He got dropped all the way to the 10-yard line. Just a disaster of a play. That's a little bit of a win there for the Rangers to force a field goal here.
That's exactly right, James. As the Rangers, as they trot out the field goal unit, the Rangers are feeling, hey, we bend, but we don't break. So now we just got to get, if we can get a score on offense, this is a whole new game, and it's a game we can win.
Anguiano's going to come on for the kick. It's going to be a 27-yard field goal, almost as he's really right in the middle of the field. He sends it up, and it is good. 8:38, 8:37. The second came off randomly. 8:37 to play here in the first half. Your score, Southern Nazarene 10, Northwestern 0. You're watching SNU football here on SNU Athletics. 8:37 to play here in the first half. Your score 10-0 Southern Nazarene as a 27-yard field goal from Anguiano. Capped a 6-play, 41-yard drive thanks to the interception by Brayon Jackson. So Anguiano set the kickoff here. Horatio Smith, Miles Mitchison back deep. Anguiano's kick is off. A little bit of a shorter kick here. Smith's going to take it at the 5-yard line. He heads towards his right side. He's got a little bit of space here. And Smith's definitely his best return of the day as he gets close to the 35-yard line. And that's where Northwestern will take over 1st and 10. They're going to mark him at the 33-yard line. And back out comes this SNU defense. The most impressive part so far has been this secondary. John, tell me a little bit about what this secondary has been able to do to give Northwestern trouble.
Well, what they've been able to do is, like you were talking about, they like man up on these receivers who have been, for the most part, I mean, with the exception of maybe some of the better teams in the GAC, just kind of picked apart defenses who just sit back in zone or just haven't been playing as good man defense as trying to scramble out right here.
McClure gets hit as he throws, but he's got a man. It's Mitchison. It's caught. He's inside the 15. It'll be dragged out. They're going to call him out at around the 8-yard line. What a throw by Jake McClure as he got absolutely leveled there, but still was able to throw a perfect pass down the middle of the field to Mitchison. And it's going to be 1st and goal for Northwestern as they scramble to get set up here. They're going to have 3 receivers to the left, and they're going to have Coda in the backfield, and they're going to give it to the big guy. Coda rumbling to the right side, and he's going to be dragged down at around the 6-yard line, and there's a change of events just right there.
And that's the first time that SNU's defense has kind of been caught napping, so now they're paying the price for it, and now they got to come up with their own goal line stand like Northwestern was on the other side of the field.
Well, and you can see the difference. McClurg is really moving in the pocket a lot, getting outside and forcing SNU to chase him a little bit, which is always dangerous to get receivers open, whereas Weed, when he was in the game earlier, kind of just stood in the pocket and didn't, he was more of a pocket type of passer.
Well, you need a shifty quarterback like McClurg in there because SNU's just been dominating Northwestern's offensive line.
And they're going to play action to Coda. They're going to go towards the corner of the end zone, and it will be caught for a touchdown. Gavin Gardner, we've brought his name up a few times. He was just one-on-one there, went up and got it, and in the blink of an eye, Northwestern is on the board.
I'm actually surprised, James, that it took him this long to get on, but that's just a testament to SNU's defense, and they just get caught napping one time, and that's the story right now is we're back within a game. We're in a game right now.
Zave Goodrich on the kick, and he kicks it through, and so now with 7:18 remaining in the first half, your score, Southern Nazarene 10, Northwestern 7. You are watching SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. Back here for the SNU football. It is 10-7 SNU leading Northwestern. John, tell us a little bit of this hero night here at SNU football field. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's hero night here at SNU. The students have been told to kind of dress up in their favorite superheroes. I saw a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles down there a little bit. But this is about some real heroes in our community, our first responders, our ambulances over there you see in the corner, ready for any serious injuries, which we hope we don't have today. Policemen, firefighters, and just all the great first responders we have in the Bethany, Oklahoma City area. We thank you for what you do.
So kickoff coming up here. It looks like Ryan Reed. Excuse me, that would be Northwestern. That was Andrew Lesnick set to kick off. And it's going to be a low liner. And it's going to be picked up by Davis. Davis heading to the left side, out to the 25, the 30. Big block there by Carlson, and he finally gets dragged down around the 33-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Southern Nazarene. So, John, this offense, we've seen a lot of really good things. There's a flag down. Actually, we'll get to that in just a second. We have a flag on the field, and they're pointing towards Northwestern.
This might be a helmet-to-helmet call.
Could be a targeting, could be a face mask, something in that area. Let's take a look here.
I heard that pop on Davis all the way up here.
So we await the call. They say holding?
They said holding.
You don't usually hear that on a kickoff. That is a interesting call, to say the least. But regardless, it's going to be, I believe, 10 more yards added to the end of the run.
Well, SNU will take all the yards they can get.
And they've really had some great field position to start out today. And now, as we said, the offense has looked pretty good today, but only 10 points to show for. If you're an SNU fan, you're hoping you can go down. Not a field goal's fine, but you would really like a touchdown in this situation with how well you've been moving the ball.
Well, it was the same way against Ouachita last time they were back home. They started out really, really strong. They couldn't quite finish in the second half. They gotta just, for lack of a better term, suck it up and just punch it into the end zone. Otherwise, they're gonna let people stay around, and that's no good if you want to win a game.
First play is to Nate Walker. And Nate was moving pretty fast around the left side. Kind of had to push his lineman in front of him to kind of get moving because he came out like a cannon. But he gets 6 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and 4.
And once again, Nate Walker, he has some explosiveness in him, and he works a little bit better in open spaces than Zach Walker does. Zach Walker's faster, and he can get to the open spaces faster, but work inside those spaces, Nate's a little bit better.
So 2nd and 4 here for SNU. They've got 2 receivers and a tight end to the right. Zach Walker to the left. And it's going to be a read option that goes nowhere. Northwestern had that snuffed out from the beginning. And it looks like it was number 39, Kyle Ferguson, who brought Spady down. And it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. So 3rd and 5 here. This is, first half, and it's been a half, I would say it's been dominated by SNU minus 1 play from Northwestern. This could be a pretty big turning point in this game if Northwestern can get a stop and get the ball back. This is interesting.
Now, Devin Brady was in the game lining up on the far side as there's going to be a timeout taken. But he was lining up a little bit on the outside, and number 4, Eric Cook of the Rangers, was pressed up on him. If they do that to read roll-offs whenever we come back, then Spady might want to be looking to his right.
We'll take a timeout with them. This is SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. 5:51 remaining in the first half. 10-7, SNU leads Northwestern. Line. Boy, Northwestern, it was a tight end screen again from Spady to Carlson this time. Carlson may have gone all the way there, but he just lost the ball, but was able to jump back on it at the 40-yard line. And now it'll be 1st and 10 SNU at the Northwestern 41-yard line. They're moving again. That tight end screen, though, it has been deadly twice now.
Well, it is accounted for SNU's only touchdown so far, and once again, another big play. It just needs to be set up right.
Walker's going to take the handoff, goes up the middle, and picks up 4, maybe 5 yards. He's dropped at the 38-yard line. That's going to bring up 2nd down as SNU looks offense moving the ball. They've done a nice job this afternoon getting some big plays, doing some good things. And let's see if they can cash in here, as they are yet again in Northwestern territory.
And now, if you'll see down here on the bottom half of your screen, you'll see Zach Walker and Reed Roloffs off to the side. If Zach can preoccupy the safety, then Reed may be all alone with that corner.
And they're going to give it to Nate Walker again. He's got room. He's going to take this all the way. Untouched. Touchdown. Southern Nazarene. 38-yard run. Nate Walker. I don't think anybody touched him. That hole was huge around the left side.
And once again, I was touching on it. Once he gets in space, Nate Walker has a different gear that he can hit. And once again, he hits that one all the way to the end zone. Great run by Nate Walker.
And you got to give credit to the offensive line opening that hole up. Just nothing that they could do, or they couldn't have done that really any better, as Walker found the crease and used his speed to take it all the way to the end zone. Anguiano on for the extra point, looking to increase this lead for SNU. The kick is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 4:35 to play here in the first half. Your score, Southern Nazarene 17, Northwestern 7. We'll take a quick break. You're watching SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. Five plays, 58 yards, 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Nate Walker, 38 yards out to the house. 17-7 is your score. Southern Nazarene leads. Anguiano set to kick off with 4:35 remaining in the second quarter. And you have Mitchison, who had the big catch earlier, and Horatio Smith back deep. Anguiano sends it back. It's taken at the 4 by Smith. He stumbles, and he moves to his left side, and he's going to be wrapped up before he even gets to the 20-yard line. Great kick coverage by the Southern Nazarene kickoff team. And it's going to be 1st and 10 here for Northwestern. They will take over at their own 18-yard line. So they finally got some offense going on their last drive, finally getting into the end zone, as McClurg is going to remain in the game. It makes you wonder if something happened to Isaiah Weed, or maybe they wanted to switch it up. Not really sure. I can't see Weed anywhere on the sideline, but he has been pulled. This is the 3rd drive for McClurg, as he's going to hand it to Peyton, and he's going to go nowhere as he is dragged down. It was number 22, Daniel Flynn, who hit him in the backfield, a 2-yard loss. They bring up 2nd and 12.
And I don't blame them leaving in McClurg. Yes, McClurg. I don't blame them moving in, because SNU's line on both sides of the field has just been dominating the Northwestern battle in the trenches. So you got to get somebody a little bit more shifty in there.
Peyton's now going to take the carry. Oh, good hard run there. Put his head down and maybe picked up another 2 yards, as he's going to get it out to the 25-yard line. About an 8-yard run there, and that's going to bring up 3rd down.
And here you may see it. You may see why they like to use McClurg right here in this kind of situation, because he's not getting enough time to set up a pass. So you might want to give him a little bit of time to scramble. And right there, see on that bootleg.
McClurg to the left, scrambling, and he's going to turn up the field, and he's going to be very close to this 1st down. Let's see where they mark him. I mean, he is right near it. We'll see if the refs call it a 1st down. Actually, the spot, I think, is just going to have him inches short. And it's going to be 4th and 1. What does Northwestern do here? I think they're going to make probably the good decision here and punt the ball. I understand the want to go for it there, but if you don't get it, you are just setting your defense up for failure there. So they're going to punt it away. Of course, Southern Nazarene needs to play it safely here. Make sure and watch for any fakes. But Brown's going to come on and punt for the 4th time today. And back deep is Dorian Harris, who's had a great game. Brown sends it off. Harris is going to stay back, and it bounces up and takes a little bit of a Ranger bounce, but it's going to eventually be touched here at the 30-yard line. So 2:33 left here in the first half, and it's going to be 1st and 10 here for Southern Nazarene as the Crimson Storm. So you got 2 minutes and 33 seconds. You got a 17-7 lead. You get the ball to start the second half. Is this a case where you want to be aggressive and try to get some points, or just make sure you get to the half without turning it over?
Well, I say yes to both, but it's all about what kind of coach you have. I mean, if you want, I mean, the smart decision would probably be, let's just get, if we can get a big play on the ground, awesome. But we'll go into halftime as with the lead, we'll be good. But then you might have a coach that says, no, we're in a position of power right now. Let's press the issue. Let's go down. Let's try and get some points. And if you have Reed Roloffs down there, like I've been pointing out, you might just want to do that.
Spady comes out. He's going to give it to Walker. He's already had a big day. Nate Walker, shifty, puts some moves and picks up about 5 yards. Gets it out to the 35. Actually, they're going to mark him at the 36-yard line. A 6-yard gain from Nate Walker. I'm telling you, I'm liking these quick handoffs to Walker, just getting the ball to him and letting him work. He has looked very, very sharp today. And so we're going to have 2nd and 4 here. Spady back in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers, a tight end to his right. Zach Walker to his left. Carlson's going to come in motion. And it's going to be another handoff to Walker. Walker with some room. He gets the first down and more, and he's finally dragged down around the 46-yard line. I think this is exactly what you were kind of alluding to, a little bit of both. You're being conservative, still running the ball, trying to pick up yards, but you're not going hyper-aggressive and trying to throw the ball over the field. Kind of probably perfect for Southern Nazarene. They will probably take a field goal in this situation as well.
If they can get in range, here in the next 40 seconds, they'll probably just stick with a field goal. But if they can get there sooner, we might see something else.
Zach Walker in motion. Spady back to pass, gets some pressure. He's going to roll to his right. He's looking, fires, and it's going to be caught into Northwestern territory, caught by Jacoby Hicks. Hicks gets it down. He's going to be spotted at around the 38-yard line. Another first down for Southern Nazarene. Great patience there by Spady. He rolled out, looked until he could find the open man and was able to do so without forcing it. A great job there by Jacob Spady as he's going to come out pistol formation. About 1:15 left in the half and counting. Walker in motion. This is going to be Zach Walker on the carry. He cuts up inside, and he's got some room, and he's got a first down. He's down to the 25. The Northwestern bench really wanted a holding call there. I do not see a flag anywhere, so it'll be a first down again for Southern Nazarene.
Now, like I said, within a minute, we're at a minute right now. So now SNU, you might go to the air, you might keep running it. If you're finding success on the ground, but you might just press the issue just a little bit.
Well, you can see a lot more players in the box. Spady's going to go back to pass. He's looking for Carlson. Carlson is held. About 3 flags come flying in, and we're going to see, it'll be interesting if it's pass interference or holding, usually a difference between the two, but we'll see what the call is here in a moment, as that was a very obvious and easy call for the ref, probably their easiest call of the day. And they're going to call holding on the defense as opposed to pass interference. But it will be another first down for Southern Nazarene. They had Carlson one-on-one towards the end zone.
I mean, there was 3 defenders around him as the pass went up, but I think the only reason that was the case was because he was being held by his jersey so much.
Now that is a 10-yard penalty as opposed to a 15-yard penalty, as Spady's going to go back to shotgun formation, 2 receivers each side. Ramos in the backfield. Man in motion. Spady back to pass. It's going to be a screen to Ramos, and he couldn't quite hang on to it. It was a little bit high, and they're going to be a late hit here. We're going to get roughing the passer as Spady was thrown to the ground by number 24, Maurice Wright, and Northwestern is just shooting themselves in the foot right now with penalties, and there it is, roughing the passer. That's going to be half the distance to the goal, and it could be setting up 1st and goal with 40 seconds to play.
And now, I mean, you got 40 seconds to work. Get as many plays towards the end zone as possible if you're SNU. You got down there, now push it.
First and goal, Southern Nazarene at the 8-yard line. Nate Walker in the backfield with Spady. 3 receivers to the left. Spady back to pass. They're looking for the screen again, and Spady just throws it down. And they were setting up that same screen they had for Ramos, but this time they had it with Walker, and Northwestern was not fooled on that play. So that'll bring up second and goal here. So now you're in the situation where you can get a touchdown, but you still will take a field goal as you start with the ball in the second half. So you got to be careful. Don't force anything here. 2 hands on the ball. If you can get in the end zone, that's great. But just remember, a field goal does not hurt here.
And once again, you might just be looking at number 11 and let him just go up and get it.
3 receivers to the right. It's going to be an option read. Spady right up the middle. Touchdown, Southern Nazarene. Jacob Spady, 8 yards out on a beautiful option read. And the Crimson Storm have scored 14 unanswered here at the end of the first half. Well, it'll be 14 unanswered if Anguiano can add the extra point here. 30 seconds to go here in the second quarter now, 23-7. And what a way to end this half right now for Southern Nazarene, provided they can hang on here in the last 30 seconds. Anguiano setting up for the point apper. Good snap, good hold. Kick is actually blocked, and it is no good. And it is number 23, came off the edge and got a piece of it. Aaron Barnes just came off the edge, used good speed, and was able to get a piece. However, 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Your score is Southern Nazarene 23, Northwestern 7. We'll take a quick break. You're watching SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. .30 seconds to play in the first half. Southern Nazarene 23, Northwestern 7. 6 plays, 70-yard drive, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Jacob Spady up the middle, 8 yards for the score to make it 23-7. Anguiano is set to kick off. Horatio Smith, Miles Mitchison, both back deep for Northwestern. And they're going to do a high pooch kick here, and it's going to be called for. Fair catch and made. And a good call there by Southern Nazarene. You don't want to – you got 30 seconds left. You do not want to give up any points here in the last 30 seconds. You want to take all this momentum that they currently have into the break.
I totally agree. Now, on the other side for Northwestern, the smart thing is just kneel it. Let's go into halftime, cut the damage. But then there's that fighting mentality. Do we really want to go in as kind of, for lack of a better term, the whimpering dog? So
we'll see.
We'll see what they do.
See how aggressive Northwestern is here. They have all 3 of their timeouts. It is worth noting as McClurg will start it off. He's back to pass, looking to his right, and he's going to step up, and he's going to run, which he's done a few times, and he is hit hard as he picks up about 5 yards. Look like Marin Beletic on the tackle after about a 5-yard gain, and timeout's going to be taken by Northwestern with 21 seconds remaining. And so, John, I mean, you know, we'll talk a little more about it at halftime, but Southern Nazarene probably, I'd venture to say, maybe one of their best first halves they've played this year. Really only one play is the reason Northwestern's on the board.
Exactly. One play, just it caught him sleeping on a long scramble play. Secondary got careless, but yeah, you're right, James. Just one play equals 7 points essentially, but SNU has put forth probably one of their most complete halves so far this year on offense, and I press it on it because I played lineman in high school, but I press on it. The battle in the trenches, SNU is dominating on both sides of the football. They're getting after the quarterback, making him get out of the pocket. On offense, they're establishing the run game inside, outside, working with Nate Walker, who's had a pretty spectacular game thus far. Him and Dorian Harris on the other side of the football. And again, they're limiting Northwestern's passing attacks. they're limiting them because Dorian Harris, Breon Jackson, they're just so dangerous right now.
So McClurg is going to come out here on a 2nd and 4. He is back to pass. He feels some pressure again, steps up, looking. He's going to run to his left side. He does not have a lot of room, and he gets out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Now down to 15 seconds. And again, minus the one play, which equaled a Northwestern touchdown, I could not be more impressed with how this secondary has played today. They're in zone now with it being towards the end of the half, but they have pretty much played man this whole game against a high-powered passing attack, and they have held their own throughout all of the first half.
And that one play was just a great microcosm of what they've been able to do because he couldn't find anybody open. Just scramble, get what you can.
McClurg back in the shotgun, 4 receivers. McClurg back to pass, feeling a little bit of pressure. Steps up, still looking. Now he's going to run again, and he's got nothing as he is going to be dropped. He actually does pick up a few yards, but nothing as far as now there's 6 seconds left, maybe one more play left for Northwestern. And you can tell McClurg doesn't even want to take any chances here with how well it is being covered right now. And he picks up about 5 on the play. He was dropped by number 36, Stephen Price. And we had a timeout again by Northwestern, and we're going to come back out here 2nd and 4. And about 4, 5, 6 SNU defenders are going to go back. And actually now they're going to go to their sideline since the timeout was called. And so we go to break here for a second. 6 seconds on the clock. 23-7 Southern Nazarene leading Northwestern. And what has been an outstanding first half for the SNU offense, and the defense has done its part as well throughout the half. The SNU offense, you probably don't get to say this very often, 263 yards here in the first half. So they've had some games where they haven't even gotten that many yards in an entire game. So to get 263 and a half has got to be a major, major accomplishment for this offense and for this team. As out come both teams here on a 2nd and 4. 6 seconds remaining. This should be the final play of the half. I tell you, don't be surprised here if Northwestern maybe just hands it off because everybody's back about 20 yards right now. We'll see if they actually throw it or if they just hand it off and see what they can get here. No, they are going to throw. McClurg's going to scramble to his right. He's looking, throws. It's caught, and
he's got about 2 seconds.
Yeah, he got about 2 seconds still. Felt like it went forever. Deshaun Gordon has the catch, and they get out of bounds at the Southern Nazarene 40, so they'll get one more shot here.
Well, they resetted the clock to 8 seconds.
Oh, they did.
So the
goalpost is right in front of the scoreboard, so it still looked like 6, and they're going to take one. They're going to take their final timeout here, and so 2.5 seconds remaining. Northwestern will take one more chance into the end zone.
Now, since this is the last play of the half, obviously they want to go for Hail Mary, but this is where it's going to be interesting. Because even as great as the defense has been playing, it basically just comes down to throw it up and get it to the end zone. It'll be interesting to see who's going to get there first, the receivers to the end zone or the SNU defensive line to the quarterback.
Well, I tell you, this will be interesting because the Rangers have some size. You've got Deshaun. Or not Deshaun in this case, as he stands at 5'7". I was looking more at Jamar Morris at 6'4". Brendan Brown. You have where's the tight end that the other wide receiver I'm looking for? Gavin Gardner. That's who I was looking for. Who 6'4", already has a touchdown today, where he just kind of went up and got it. So don't be surprised maybe if they go to number 18 on the far side or number 3 here in the slot. As there's 3 receivers to the left of McClurg. McClurg back to pass, looking, steps up, and he's going to toss it into the end zone, and it is. Did they catch it? No, ball comes out. Almost brought in there by Gavin Gardner. I think he actually had it for a minute, but one of the SNU defensive backs was able to pry it out of his hands.
Well, he stepped in front of the defensive back for SNU. He
kind of boxed him out.
Right, boxed him out, and it looked like he may have had it, but I think coming down, it either got dislodged or he just didn't have a good handle on the ball. So, in other words, SNU got a break.
So, exhale there, as it's still going to be 23-7 as we go to halftime. You'll have the SNU band here performing shortly, and then we will give you some first half stats, some scores around the conference and around the nation. And we'll have that coming for you here at halftime. However, your halftime score, Southern Nazarene 23, Northwestern 7. You are watching SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. At this time, let's take a listen to the Sound of the Storm for your halftime entertainment. Again, the Sound of the Storm, the SNU band taking the field.
Sound of the Storm marching band and local area high school students. Please welcome them as they perform to the tune, The Hay Song. How about a nice round of applause for our local high school kids? Today, the band will be performing three selections entitled Children of Sanchez and Make Believe and Achino, which features our percussion section. Soloists include Jordan Macias on alto saxophone and Hannah Amos on trumpet. The band is under the direction of drum major Benji Hughes from Wichita Falls, Texas, and Emma Rhodes from Clear Creek, Oklahoma. Drum majors, is your band ready? This team event is celebrating excellence in musicianship and marching. This team's Marcher of the Week recognition goes to Caleb Prince from Bethany, Oklahoma, and Alex Rank from Richardson, Texas. Fans, at this time, we invite you to stand for the playing of the SMU fight song.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sound of the storm for your halftime entertainment as they march off the field. Your halftime score, Southern Nazarene 23, Northwestern 7. A tremendous first half here for the Crimson Storm as they have the 16-point lead. So going through a few of the first half stats, as we mentioned, 23-7 Southern Nazarene leads. They lead in first downs 13-8. Southern Nazarene 24 rushes for 175 yards. Northwestern 21 rushes for 111 yards. 88. Here's the interesting stat for you, John. 88 yards passing for Southern Nazarene. Northwestern 82 yards. If you would have told me before the game that Southern Nazarene would have more passing yards than Northwestern, I probably would have called you crazy. But look at where we're at.
Well, considering that this is an offense that averages, just over 300 yards a game, then yeah, that would sound like a crazy number.
263 yards of total offense for Southern Nazarene to 193 for Northwestern. 4 punts on the day for Northwestern, averaging about 42.5 yards. 1 punt by Anguiano, 54 yards. 8 penalties for Northwestern, 72 yards. 6 penalties for 60 yards for Southern Nazarene. Both teams are going to want to clean that up. 16 minutes and 30 seconds time of possession for Southern Nazarene, 13:30 on the other side for Northwestern. Northwestern is 2 of 6 on third downs, 3 of 6 for Southern Nazarene, also 0 for 1 on fourth down. And Southern Nazarene is 2 of 3 in the red zone to 1 for 1 for Northwestern. Some individual stats. I'll start it off here with the Northwestern Rangers. Jake McClurg has 7 carries for 46 yards. Jacob Payton, 6 carries for 33 yards. Anthony Cota, 6 carries for 31 yards. Isaiah Weed started the game, went 2 of 7 for 4 yards, got pulled. Jake McClurg came in 3 of 7 for 78 yards. He does have a touchdown as well as an interception. Miles Mitchison had the big catch for the Rangers, 1 for 57 yards. Deshaun Gordon, 1 for 15 yards. Gavin Gardner, 1 for 6 yards. Jacob Payton, 1 for 6 yards. Again, just kind of crazy to imagine that Northwestern is only 5 of 14 through the air today for 82 yards. Shane Collins leads the defense with 5 tackles. Dakota Driscoll with 4. Aaron Barnes with 3, Maurice Wright with 3. And, John, I'll turn to you. Let's go through the Southern Nazarene individual stats.
Well, looking at the rushing, Nate Walker leads the way with 94 net worth yards, 94 gain, 7 loss. He's averaging 13.4 yards a carry, which is only good news for SNU with a long of 39. Jacob Spady right behind him, the quarterback, 10 carries for 46 yards, averaging 4.6 yards a carry. As long as only been 10. Right behind him, Reese Carlson coming in with 17 yards, and Zach Walker with 12 yards. Jacob Spady's the only one passing, and he's completed 5 of 9 so far for 88 yards and 1 touchdown with a long of 38. And on the receiving part of it, Reese Carlson has 2 receptions for a 13. He's the only SNU receiver with multiple receptions.
Only
today.
receiver period.
Only receiver period with 13 yards. But Devin Brady has a touchdown on the day with 38 yards on 1 catch. Zach Walker 21 yards on 1 catch, and Jacoby Hicks 1 catch for 16 yards. We've touched on it. You touched on it before. Carlos Anguiano with 1 punt of 54 yards. Dorian Harris 2 punt returns for 34 yards. And Jacob Davis only had 1 kickoff return thus far for 20 yards. On the defensive side, Tristan Slinker leads all tacklers with 4 total, 3 unassisted and 1 assisted. Zach Lloyd right behind him with 3 unassisted as well. And Gustavo Sanchez with 3 unassisted as well. And Angel Hernandez has 2 unassisted and 1 assisted.
And I also want to point out, while you bring up defense, Breon Jackson with an interception today. And then we just want to talk about Dorian Harris, who's just been outstanding. I believe, off the top of my head, at least 4 pass breakups so far throughout the first half.
At least.
And he has been quite outstanding. Quick scoring summary, Devin Brady caught a 38-yard pass on a tight end screen from Jacob Spady, rumbled 38 yards down the middle for a score and a 7-0 lead with 8:40 to play in the first quarter. Carlos Anguiano added a 27-yard field goal with 8:37 remaining in the second quarter to make it 10-0. Gavin Gardner caught a 6-yard pass from Jake McClure to get Northwestern on the board and cut the deficit to 10-7. However, the final 5 minutes was all Southern Nazarene. Nate Walker exploded for a 38-yard run down the sideline to make it 17-7 with 4:35 remaining in the second. And then Jacob Spady closed the half out with an 8-yard run to cap a 6-play, 70-yard drive with 31 seconds left. The extra point was blocked, though, and that is here's one reason that is big. As opposed to being a 3-possession game at 17 points, it is a 2-possession game with a 16-point lead at 23-7, but a 23-7 lead nonetheless. And John, as we get ready to start the second half, you allude to this in the beginning, and I think it's a brilliant point, and I think it's what Southern Nazarene has to be saying in the locker room. All season long, we've had good halves, good quarters. And we've even, I'd say even the Ouachita Baptist, you had 3 good quarters. You got to put it all together and play full quarters to come away with a win today.
You do. And at Northwestern, they're not going to be a team that lies down and takes this. They're going to, trust me, once we start getting a little bit later, and maybe even as we start, they're going to open up the passing game a little bit more, try to wear down the secondary with just multiple passes and go back to what they do best. They're the number 1 in the conference, 12th in the country in passing offense. They'll go back to it eventually. If they don't, I'll be surprised.
Well, and here's the one thing that should keep in mind, that you got to keep your foot on the gas pedal here on offense. Northwestern's 1 scoring drive, 3 plays, 67 yards, a minute 09. They can hit you fast.
They can hit you very, very fast.
So you've got to – I think this first drive could be huge for both teams. It's Southern Nazarene, go down, get some points, make it a 3-possession game, and really take control of this contest. Or Northwestern can get a stop, get a punt back, and really cut into the lead. We'll see how this plays out. It should be an interesting second half as we are set to go here at SNU football field. James Hill, John Hale here on hand for you this afternoon. Now starting to turn into an evening, a nice cool evening here in Bethany as we are set to go. Kicking off is number 99, Andrew Lesnick. And we are underway, the second half. And this is going to be taken by number 35, Stephen Gordon. Gordon's going to cut up the middle, looking for some space, and he's finally going to be wrapped up. I don't even believe he got to the 20. Let's see where they mark him. They're going to mark him at the 19-yard line. And one thing that the stats don't show, we had talked about off air, starting field position. I'd venture to say, unfortunately we don't have that stat on us, but I'd venture to say SNU has started about the 35, 40-yard line every single possession, whereas with the exception of one possession, Northwestern started at their own 20 or 15 almost every possession. This is going to be the first time SNU bad field position to start the half.
And it's not even, I mean, like, whenever you think, oh, it's the 19-yard line, it's not great position. It's not even that terrible in proportion. I mean, they could be inside the 10 for all we know.
Right.
So SNU, even as this is considered bad field position, they can work with this.
Jacob Spade's going to come out in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers each side. Man comes in motion. That would be Reese Carlson. They're going to hand it to Ramos. Ramos around the right side's got a little bit of room, and he stood up. It looked like he kind of ran into his blocker there. If he could have hit the hole to the left or right, probably would have picked up another 3 or 4 yards. Instead, only a 3-yard gain. And that'll bring up 2nd and 7. So 2nd down and 7 here. Spade's going to go back to the shotgun formation, 2 receivers on each side. I think if you're SNU, you want to see the ball in the hands of Nate Walker some more after a huge first half, as he's going to come in motion. And it's going to be kind of a read option. It looks like it's just kind of a straight run there for Spade, and he's going to pick up a first down as he gets out to the 30-yard line as Spade right up the gut.
Now, I was talking to various students. I was talking to David Noblet, our man downstairs. But 4 o'clock seems like a kind of a weird position to kick off our game, and now we see why it's so weird. The sun is setting or beginning to set right behind us, so you see this awesome shadow, which is us in the press box. But SNU is going to be looking right into that sun as long as they're in between the outside that 30 to 40 area, and Northwestern's going to be looking straight into it.
Nate Walker takes a jet sweep, gets to the outside. He's got some room. He's down the sideline. He's out of bounds. They're going to call him out around the 37-yard line, about a 7-yard gain. He's going to bring up 2nd and 3, and Nate Walker has just been so electric today.
And Nate Walker, he's having one of his best games of the year, and once he gets into that open space, like I said, he has a different gear that he can hit. And he can find another level of acceleration once he just gets maybe even 5 yards of separation between anybody.
Nate Walker's a sophomore out of Hitchcock, Texas, and he is making his mark here today as he's going to get a beautiful read option by Spady. Spady's got a rail on room down the left sideline. He's going to take it all the way. Touchdown, Southern Nazarene. 63-yard touchdown to the house. Jacob Spady.
Jacob Spady, great yard. That's his longest of the year. That's his longest run of the year, and probably one of his biggest.
What a run. The read option was done to perfection there. They all went with Nate Walker to the outside, and Spady just had a huge hole to the left side. Just went untouched down the sideline, and this lead is going to increase. Now at 29-7, Anguiano on for the extra point. His last kick was blocked. So let's see what happens on this one. Snap good, hold good, and this time it is up, and it is good. What a start in the second half for Southern Nazarene. 13 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Your score is Southern Nazarene 30, Northwestern 7. Four plays, 81 yards in a minute and 45 seconds to open up the second half. Jacob Spady, 63 yards to the house to put Southern Nazarene up 30-7. Anguiano set to kick off, and back deep for Northwestern is going to be Horatio Smith and Miles Mitchison. And as Anguiano sets the kick, he sends it deep. And it's going to be Horatio Smith again at the 7-yard line. He's heading to his right. He's got a hole up the middle. Got a lot of room. And he cuts to the outside. He's to the 40, the 45, the 50. And I think it ended up finally gets tackled around midfield. He's actually in to Southern Nazarene territory. I believe Carmouche finally pulled him down and kind of flip and flop the field position. It didn't make a difference for Southern Nazarene, but definitely the best field position of the day for Northwestern.
And it's not even close. It's not even close in terms of where they've started today. This is their best. And we were talking about it, you know, SNU had better field position the whole day, Northwestern not so much. Now it's a completely different kind of stat in the second half.
First and 10 from the 48-yard line for Northwestern. McClurg back in the game here at quarterback. He's going to give it to Peyton. Peyton looking for some room on the outside, and he's going to be wrapped up around the 45-yard line. It looked like number 19, Angel Hernandez, on the tackle, and it's going to be 2nd and 7. And John, Southern Nazarene, you know, we've mentioned they have 3 wins, 3 on the road. If they can hang on today, this could be their first win at home, which you know these guys want to do in front of their home fans, as it'll be 2nd and 7, pistol formation for McClurg, Peyton in the backfield. And McClurg actually is going to keep it on the option read, and he'll get dragged down around the 40-yard line to bring out 3rd and short. Interesting, they're sticking with this running game. They do not want to get away from it. And for a team that's number 12 in the nation with passing and only has 82 yards passing, I kind of find that a little surprising, being down 23.
I mean, I don't understand. You're right, James. I don't understand why they feel like they should run the ball as much as they should. I mean, as much as they are right now. They're going to get a first down here, but eventually it's got to click in their head. We're down by 23. We should probably do something to fix that.
And Peyton picks up the first down up to the 34. And they're going to go quickly here and hand it to Peyton again. Peyton looking to go to the outside, and he's going to get dragged down by Hernandez. No gain. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. Well, for Northwestern, we mentioned that first drive. If they could get a stop, would be huge. This feels like a must-score situation here for the Rangers if they want to have a chance today.
Oh, it is absolute must-score scenario for the Rangers. They started out with the best field position of the day. They're already at the 34-yard line of SNU. They got to at least get a field goal here.
Shotgun formation. McClurg is going to roll to his left, fires, and it's dropped. The big tight end, Jamar Morris, couldn't pull it in. Really didn't have a lot of pressure on him either. Should have been an easy catch. It would have got him about 7 or 8, but the big tight end couldn't bring it in, and it's going to be 3rd down and 10. And easy pitch and catch instead is going to equal 3rd and long. And
with a play like that, you got to wonder, was Northwestern mentally prepared for this ball game? Because that's every day. That's bread and butter for Northwestern. They should make that 9 out of 10 times. That just happened to be the 1 out of 10.
3rd down and 10, pistol set. And it's going to be another rollout and a nice move by McClurg, and he fires, and it's going to be caught by Deshaun Gordon. That was a great move by McClurg because he looked like he was going to get dropped in the backfield for a sack, and he put a nice move to step up in the pocket. And so McClurg gets the 1st down to the 17-yard line, 1st and 10. Northwestern had good field position to start this drive, looking to take advantage of it. McClurg back to pass. Got a man open in the backfield. It's Jalen Williams. He's down the sideline. Big hit there, though, by number 44, Tristan Slinker. But he does get it down to the 10-yard line, a 7-yard gain for Jalen Williams on the short pass.
Now, Slinker's one of the leading tacklers on SNU's defense, and he just delivered a message to that receiver.
Peyton going to get the carry to the right side. He gets down to around the 5-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and goal now for Northwestern, looking to answer here in the second half. So 1st and goal to go for the Rangers. Down 30-7 with about 10 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. McClurg in the shotgun, back to pass. Steps up, heading towards the end zone, cuts inside. He's going to be short. Gets down to the 2-yard line before a host of Southern Nazarene defenders bring him down, and it'll be 2nd and goal. And as you say, the elusive McClurg, he has been, you'd be surprised in a 37 game, there's been no sacks in this game, and as much as they've tried to throw the ball. And Southern Nazarene has gotten pressure on the quarterback, just hadn't been able to bring him down in the backfield. As Peyton.
He juggled that snap.
Yeah, he did juggle it, and he hangs on, though, goes up the middle, and it's a touchdown for Northwestern. So Jake McClurg on the 2-3-yard run will score, and there's a flag coming out, and that's going to be, my guess would be some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct coming up. And if that's on Northwestern, it's just a boneheaded play there. You're down 30-13. You're trying to get back in the game, and you're about to probably give Southern Nazarene great field position on the ensuing kickoff. You just got to have better discipline than that. And it is an unsportsmanlike conduct on Northwestern, and they're going to end up kicking off from the 20, and that's going to be costly. And so Northwestern's going to come out here for the extra point after the penalty. It is Zave Goodrich on the PAT. 30-13 to score now, 9:24 to go in the 3rd quarter. Good snap and hold. The kick is up, and it is good. So as I said, 9:24 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Your score, Southern Nazarene 30. Northwestern 14. We'll take a quick break. You are watching Southern Nazarene football on SNUathletics.com. Back here, 30-14, Southern Nazarene leading Northwestern with 9:24 to go in the 3rd quarter. John, let's take a look around the GAC. Give us some. We heard we got some finals.
Well, we got finals except for this game and one other game going on in Ada. We talked about it at the very beginning of the game. Arkansas Monticello falls to Washita Baptist, 55-21. Going on at Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Both Arkadelphia teams get a win today as Henderson State takes down Southern Arkansas 36-30 in a shootout over there in Arkadelphia. Harding just took it to Southeastern Oklahoma State. 42-3 is the final as the Bisons go to Durant and just beat up on the Savage Storm. The other game that's going on right here, the other game that's going on in Ada, Arkansas Tech up big on East Central 28-10. Of course, our score here 30-14 with the Crimson Storm ahead. And the Crimson Storm, or the Crimson Storm's arch rival, the Oklahoma Baptist Bison, pick up their first win of the year against Southwestern Oklahoma State, which is SNU's next opponent. So that's SNU's next two opponents, and SNU's arch rival finally gets a win.
Lesnick kicks it off, and it's going to be taken at the 20-yard line by Gordon. Gordon to the left side, and he's going to get brought down around the 39-yard line. See if they'll mark it at the 40, but great field position for Southern Nazarene, thanks in part to that unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of the touchdown by Northwestern. Northwestern on that last drive, they took advantage of good field position after a great return as they capped a 10-play, 48-yard drive in 3 minutes and 25 seconds on a Jake McClurg 2-yard run into the end zone. So back out come the Crimson Storm. Jacob Spady, who just had the huge 63-yard touchdown run to start this half, is back out in the shotgun formation. Walker and Ramos in the backfield with him. Walker gets the carry. Walker puts a move and picks up actually no gain. He kind of extended the ball out to get back to the line of scrimmage, but he goes nowhere as number 28 for Northwestern, or excuse me, 26, Shane Collins, came up and made the tackle. So second down and 10 for Southern Nazarene, and they had the 30-14 lead, but obviously this game, we have a lot of football left to play, and Northwestern, you know, it was great for Southern Nazarene to get a touchdown to start the half, but Northwestern was able to answer. And so if you're Southern Nazarene, you just, again, keep your foot on the gas pedal and don't let up at any point. As Walker is again going to get a carry, kicks it up the field, and he will get it out to around. Actually, fumbled the ball. He fumbled the ball. No, they're going to say he's down. They say he is down, and it's a good thing because Northwestern came away with it. But an 8-yard gain for Walker on the carry is going to bring up 3rd and 2. So 3rd and short here for Southern Nazarene. Back in the shotgun formation with Ramos and Walker. Spady is ready to go. Now they'll look to the sideline. So a big 3rd and 2 here. Let's see if Southern Nazarene can convert. Carlson comes in motion. They give it to Ramos. Ramos is able to evade a tackle, goes up the middle into Northwestern territory and puts his shoulder down and picks up another 3 yards down to the 42-yard line. Daniel Ramos with a first down.
That's a big-time run for Daniel Ramos. He just got free after evading one single tackle, and he picks up a big run. And he got more than he should have just by
putting his shoulder down.
Putting his shoulder down. He's a smaller back, but he's a bowling ball. He's a stocky back.
Shotgun formation here for Spady. Got Carlson and Ramos in the backfield. As he sets, and they're going to play action here. He's going to look deep. Now he's going to roll to his right. Spady's still looking. Tries to throw it. It's intercept. Oh! It came out of the hands of number 21, Cam White. He had it in his hands, and kind of when he hit the ground, it popped out. That was a dangerous throw there by Spady.
That's 2 dangerous throws for Spady. That should have been an interception right there. One earlier in the first half that just bounced off the shoulder pad of a defender, and then that one that was in his hands, and the ball just hit the ground, popped it loose.
When you're up 30-14, you can't afford some of those dangerous passes that can swing the momentum. And we have a penalty.
It's a sideline penalty.
Wasn't even a warning. It was just a straight sideline penalty. Usually you see a sideline warning, and I've never really seen it go straight to a sideline penalty. Maybe somebody was stepped on the field during the play or something. Not sure exactly what happened, but that's a 5-yard penalty. I would think it says it's 1st and 15 still. I would think you would still lose the down there, but we'll go by what it says on the field, which is 1st and 15. Shotgun formation again here for Spady. Ramos takes the carry, gets to the outside. He's got a lot of room. Cuts back inside, and he gets it down to around the 34-yard line. Daniel Ramos with a couple big runs, and it's going to be 2nd and looks like around 2 after the 13-yard gain by Ramos. How about Daniel Ramos getting going here?
Well, he was looking at Nate Walker's good day. He's like, hey, I want to do that.
And he certainly has a couple big runs there by Ramos. He's had some games where he has struggled to get going a little bit, and good to see Ramos getting in some open space. And you gotta love when he's almost like begging for some contact when he's running. He wants to put his shoulder down and try to run somebody over. As another shotgun formation here for Spady. Back to pass. It's going to be a quarterback draw. Cuts back to the middle. He is going to be close to the first down, but I think he's going to be about a yard short. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 1. So 3rd down and 1. Spady was just stopped there on the quarterback draw. Let's see what Southern Nazarene draws up here.
Now, with the amount of penalties that SNU and Northwestern have had, I've been really impressed that SNU usually has a problem with delay of game penalties as not being able to set up plays right. They haven't had that problem today.
They have not. There's going to be the handoff to Zach Walker. He's got a lot of room to the left side. He's got a first down and more, and he's going to be rushed out of bounds around the 22-yard line. You could see Northwestern tried to fill the box up to stop the run up the middle, and Zach Walker just hit the outside corner and was able to pick up about a 12-yard gain, and it's going to be a first down for Southern Nazarene again.
Now, they almost didn't get that play off as the line was getting pushed back a lot, and Spady just had to say, here, take it.
So 1st and 10 as Zach Walker checks out and Nate Walker checks back in. And, you know, you've got to – this is a team that has struggled offensively, but – the play calling to the execution, it has been excellent here today. And as we say that, we're going to take a timeout on the field. SNU calls a timeout. 30-14 your score, 5:14 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. You're watching Southern Nazarene football here on SNUathletics.com. So it's 1st and 10 here, 5:14 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Southern Nazarene down to the Northwestern 22-yard line. Pistol set here for Spady as they're going to hand it off to Nate Walker. He's got some room up the middle towards the end zone. Touchdown, Southern Nazarene. Nate Walker for the 2nd time today, this time from 22 yards out. What a day from Nate Walker.
I mean, what else can you say? 2 touchdowns on the day. I don't have stats right in front of me, so I don't know how many times I don't know how many yards he has today, but he's already made a big time impact on this game, just opening up the rushing attack for SNU. And in my experience, the team that rushes the ball most and does it better usually wins the game.
Nate Walker, 11 carries for 131 yards, his 2nd score of the day. John, he's averaging 11 yards a carry as the kick by Anguiano is up and good. 11.99 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. What a day so far for Nate Walker. By the way, 2 rushers now over 100 yards in him and Spady. 5:08 to play here in the 3rd quarter. 37-14, Southern Nazarene leads. We'll be right back here on SNUathletics.com. 5:08 to go in the third quarter, 37-14 Southern Nazarene with that last carry. The Crimson Storm is over 300 yards rushing as a team, 322. That is the first time that has happened since they rushed for 311 yards at Northwestern on November 3rd, 2012. They have never rushed for 400 yards in a game.
We got a lot of football to be played, so
that could be changing today as Anguianos gets set to kick off, and it's going to be another pooch kick that's going to be taken, fair catch at the 30-yard line. They're trying to avoid Smith, who had the big return there. That last drive, 7 plays, 61 yards, and I think the most important thing from that drive took up 4 minutes and 7 seconds off the clock, and it is now a 37-14 game in favor of the Crimson Storm. However, a lot of football left to play with still a high-powered offense on the field, as here comes Northwestern. And Jake McClurg in the shotgun formation with Anthony Cota. And Cota is going to take the carry of the big man to the right side, breaks a few tackles, and goes out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain. So that'll bring up 2nd and 5 here. Northwestern started the third quarter well, got their offense in motion. They're going to see if they can keep building off of that. We were talking about in halftime, the two teams were a little more even than you actually thought. And I think field position played such a big difference. It played in favor of Southern Nazarene. Dakota again to the right side. A lot of room there. He's going to be just short of the first down, I think, depending on the spot. Like he was hit around the 39-yard line. And they're going to give him the 40, actually. I think they gave him a good spot there. So first down, Northwestern. Let's see if they keep trying to feed big Anthony Cota, who had a few carries in the first quarter, really hadn't heard his name since, and now he's starting to get some touches here again. McClurg, shotgun formation. Play action, looking down the middle of the field, incomplete. Left it short there. Looked like he was looking for the tight end, number 35, Bailey Garza. He had him down the seam and just kind of undercut him there. And that will bring up 2nd and 10. 3 receivers to the left of McClurg. Cota in the backfield. And they're going to give it to Cota. Cota to the right side looking for some room, and he gets chopped down there. I believe it was Harris who eventually got him down. But another good run there by Cota is going to make it 3rd and 4 after the 6-yard carry. So 3rd down and 4 to go. McClurg, shotgun formation, 2 receivers to each side. Williams in the game, play action, looking, and it is caught. And a big carry down the right side by number 18, Gavin Gardner. That has been their go-to man today.
And now SNU needs to realize that there's still a lot of football to be played. And now, as I was saying right out of halftime, eventually they'll get back to passing the football a lot more. And you can see right there they're starting to get a little bit more successful.
Shotgun formation again for McClurg. It is an option read, and McClurg, some nice, nifty little moves. Just when you think McClurg is going to go down for nothing, he finds a way to get out of it and pick up some yards, and this time he gets 5. And it's 2nd and 5. SNU really needs to work on wrapping up McClurg because he's been able to get away a few times. So 2nd and 5. Play action again. McClurg looking. He's going to dump it off to Williams. Williams to the right side, forced out of bounds finally. And it's right at the first down marker, and it's going to be enough for a first down as Jackson forced them out. And 1st and 10, Northwestern. Another nice drive here for the Rangers.
Well, SNU is going to have to bring back that lockdown pass defense that they had in the first half. Kind of been absent this past drive.
And it seems like they're kind of playing back, making sure not to allow the big play, as they're going to take a shot in the end zone. As they were looking for Gardner, already has a touchdown catch today. Gardner kind of got tripped up. Carmouche was on the coverage. That's going to make it 2nd and 10. But I think Southern Nazarene just kind of playing safe defensively. You don't want to allow any 40, 50-yard big passes down the middle of the field or down the field. And they're kind of just saying, hey, you want to take these 4 or 5-yard gains, 6-yard gains, and run clock? That's fine with us. We'll take that. Man in motion here for McClurg. He's going to give it to Coda. Coda just such a big back as he rumbles up the middle, still going, and he gets it all the way up to the 10-yard line. Coda was probably hit for about a 5-yard gain, but he just uses his muscle to pick up another 3 yards, and it's going to be 3rd and short.
Now, I don't know why you just don't give it to Coda right here. It's only 3rd and 2. Just let him pick it up, go to 1st and goal.
And actually, it's an empty formation. And it's McClurg off the right side. He's going to get the first down. It's an interesting play call, though. I was kind of with you. Just keep giving it to your big back from 2 yards out. But it worked out. McClurg does get the first down. It's 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. McClurg's a 6'1" sophomore out of Keller, Texas. And I tell you, for being the backup, I've been very, very impressed with him today. What he's been able to do. He had the 1 interception, but minus that, he's looked pretty good. As Coda's going to get the carry here, he rumbles up the middle and into the end zone. Touchdown, Northwestern. And Southern Nazarene, you're thinking of trying to put this game away, but Northwestern keeps coming with an answer, as they will come on for the point after.
Now, every point after from here on out, if SNU keeps answering, well, this point after, very important. If he doesn't get it, we're a 3-score game as opposed to a 2-score game. Absolutely. As Goodrich is on, kick is up. Kick is good, so it is back down to a 2-possession game, but it's still a 16-point lead for Southern Nazarene with 1:35 to play in the 3rd quarter. It is SNU 37, Northwestern 21. You're watching Southern Nazarene football here on SNUathletics.com. (37-21) the score. Southern Nazarene leading Northwestern. Minute 35 left in the 3rd quarter. Andrew Lesnick ready to kick off here for Northwestern. And it is off, and it is a deep kick, sending Harris all the way back to the end zone, and he is going to take a knee. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 25 for Southern Nazarene. And so if you're SNU, offense is rolling right now. Offense has absolutely been rolling. If you're Northwestern, you're saying, hey, we just need 1 stop and we're back in this. If you're Southern Nazarene, just, hey, keep doing what you're doing, because that rushing attack has been lethal here this afternoon. It's been incredibly effective with Nate Walker and Daniel Ramos and Spady running the read option, but now you're in this situation where it's almost the end of the 3rd quarter, money quarter, just right around the corner. You still got to answer, because Northwestern's been able to score, even it seems as SNU is playing conservatively on defense.
Pistol formation here for Spady. Ramos in the backfield. 2 receivers to each side. As a new drive set to go here for the Crimson Storm. Crimson Storm have played a very clean game as well. They're going to need to keep that up as they're going to hand off to Carlson. Carlson looking for some room. Gets to the outside. Beautiful move, and he gets out to around the 33-yard line. You can see the cornerback for the Rangers, number 4, Eric Cook, came down inside, ready to make a play on Carlson, but it's almost like he got trapped in the blocking scheme, because Carlson was able to just cut to the other side of him and hit the outside corner for what will be a 9-yard gain. They marked him at the 34. Smart piece of running there by Reese Carlson, as it is now 2nd and 1 for the Crimson Storm. Hard count here by Spady as he looks to the sideline. And now he'll set up here in the pistol. Carlson again in motion. And it is an option read. Spady to the left side. He'll pick up the first down. It's maybe 2 or 3, but it is enough for a first down. And so Southern Nazarene moving the chains. And you got to think every time you're moving the chains, that's precious seconds you can waste off the clock.
Exactly. And, I mean, it is the third quarter, so you don't want – I mean, you can, but you're not imperative to think about clock management right now. You just want to put good drives together right now. Keep answering the Rangers until it gets to the point where they hit the desperation button, and then you can just kind of work the clock a little bit. But right now, I would still say press the issue, answer the Rangers as much as possible.
Zach Walker comes in motion, and they will fake the jet sweep, and Spady will take it right up the middle, and he gets 4, maybe 5 yards to bring up second down. Probably one more play here in the third quarter before we move to the fourth. And it's a very slow-moving Southern Nazarene, just trying to milk some clock. You're not in this position often, though. You got to make sure you're still playing to win and not playing to lose here in this situation. You still don't want to take your foot off the pedal, and I like to see that Nate Walker is in the backfield again. I think Walker can get about as many touches as he can here between him and Spady, as he's going to get it here through the left side. He cuts and picks up maybe a yard. However, flag down. And this is probably exactly what Southern Nazarene does not want here. 3 seconds left in the quarter. And my guess, a holding call. This is the first penalty of the second half, I believe, for Southern Nazarene. They've played a really, really clean half. But now they're going to go backwards, and that's going to be 10 yards to make it 2nd and 15.
Well, we get at least one more play, maybe.
See what Southern Nazarene can do here. Southern Nazarene, I gotta say, they have faced some 2nd and longs and 3rd and longs and have been able to convert some big plays despite some long distances to go. And actually, the clock did run, so that is the final play of the third quarter. Southern Nazarene on their home field will move into the fourth with a 37-21 lead over Northwestern Oklahoma State. We'll be right back with the exciting conclusion. You are watching SNU football on SNUathletics.com. Back in SNU football field, 37-21, the Crimson Storm lead the Rangers. It is a 2nd and 16 here for SNU at their own 31-yard line. As they're holding on to a 16-point lead, Northwestern's offense has awoken here in the second half. Spady's going to go back to pass on 2nd and 16. Now he's going to run, and he's not going to get much of anything. He's dragged down maybe a yard on the play. Northwestern defense trying to gain some momentum here. And it's number 48 on the tackle. However, there is no number 48 on the roster, so we do not know who number 48 is. So it's going to be 3rd and 15 for Southern Nazarene. Clock is now going here in the fourth quarter, just underway. 2 receivers to the right. As Zach Walker comes in motion. Back to pass, looking for Walker. It's intercepted. Oh, just a bad throw there by Spady. As Dakota Driscoll, it was thrown basically right to him, and he picks it off at the 38-yard line. SNU got a little lucky there because Driscoll started to take off and actually kind of tripped over himself and fell down at the 35. but a disaster play there for the SNU offense, and suddenly Northwestern starts with great field position.
And I don't even know what Spady was looking at. I mean, there's 2 defenders right around him. I mean, I would like to say that maybe he just thought it was a different color jersey. I mean, it was the same color jersey, but that's just digging the bottom of the barrel for an excuse.
And it comes at an inopportune time. First turnover of the game for Southern Nazarene, and McClurg now is going to go back to pass. Looking, steps up, fires. He's got Horatio Smith. He makes a catch, puts a move. He's down the sideline to the 15, the 10, and he's inside the 10. And all of a sudden, here come the Rangers. And you know, when you're Southern, that's the one thing you can't do there. If you throw it away, take a sack, whatever the case is, you're then punting the ball away, making it tougher on Northwestern. But now they are at the 8-yard line, 1st and goal. And it's going to be Peyton on the run. He's to the right side. He's to the 5. He's in the end zone. And in the blink of an eye here in the start of the 4th quarter, Northwestern can make it a 1-possession game pending on the 2-point conversion. And the way they're running the ball suddenly, they might have a chance here to get the 3 yards to make it an 8-point game.
We'll see exactly what they want to do. Seems like there's some confusion down there.
Well, it looks like we have timeout on the field. The ref was calling for timeout. Now we seem to be good to go. So Northwestern's coming out. This is a giant 2-point conversion. It's a 10-point game right now. They can make it an 8-point game. McClurg in the shotgun. McClurg's going to roll to his right. It's going to be a throwback, and it's going to be caught, and they're going to get the 2-point conversion to number 35, Bailey Garza on the throwback. And, boy, the momentum has swung here at the SNU football field. The crowd here has gone silent unless you're on the Northwestern sideline. And with 13:44 to play, we suddenly have a 37-29 game. SNU still out in front. We'll take a quick break. This is SNUathletics.com. Two plays, 35 yards, 30 seconds. That's all it took for Northwestern to make it an 8-point game off of the interception by Driscoll. And suddenly it is a 1-possession game just like that. That was the break Northwestern needed, as here comes the kickoff. And it's going to be sent deep. It's going to be Gordon taking it at the 6-yard line. Gordon looking for some room on the right side. Cuts up the field. Nice little move there. And he fumbled the ball. And it looks like Northwestern has recovered. Oh, my goodness. This game has changed. And it was number 21, Cam White, who came away with it. And 2 turnovers have completely changed this game. Stunned. It is stunned. The crowd here is absolutely stunned right now, and based on the looks of the Southern Nazarene players, they seem stunned as well.
And I don't blame them. 2 turnovers back to back, and both of them inside the 30-yard line of SNU territory. Now SNU really needs to play good defense. That's all there is to it. Just good defense right here.
McClurg's going to be in the shotgun formation. Pump fakes again. It's going to be a tight end screen as they hit the big Jamar Morris, who was able to catch it and bring it down close to the first down. It's going to be 2nd and 1. No, it's going to be a first down, actually. They're going to give them the first down at the 12-yard line. My, oh my, how this game has changed. What was once a 37-14 lead is on the brink of possibly being tied. As a run there by Anthony Cota picks up maybe 2. And it will be 2nd and 8.
Now, last time they were at home, SNU, it just came down to one big pass play from the Tigers in order to seal the game. Now it's just 2 big mistakes. And that's all it takes in Division II. That's all it takes in any level of football.
McClurg, play action, rolling, looking. He's going to run. He's heading towards the end zone. He is into the end zone. Touchdown, Northwestern. Poor tackling there by the Crimson Storm. Like there was about 3 guys around the goal line, and nobody could bring him down. And it's a 2-point game with a 2-point conversion pending. Northwestern looking to tie it up here.
Now, part of that's just a good block by the receiver. He went out on a kind of on a flare route, just waiting for the flat. But then he realized that his quarterback was coming, just turn around and block the guy in front of you. So quarterback owes him a big thank you.
McClurg hands it off to Smith, and we are tied. The jet sweep works to perfection. Horatio Smith runs it in. And what was once a 23-point lead is now a tie game with 12:34 to play in the 4th quarter. And, boy, if you look at the benches, you can see a huge difference between both benches.
I mean, exactly right. And the SNU, this is exactly what kills them mentally in every single game that they've lost. They perform well, and the bench is into it, the crowd's into it. But once just a few mistakes, it drains their attitude, and it gives all the momentum to the other side. And then they're just a different football team. SNU needs to find a way to get that kind of mojo back.
Well, and you gotta, for SNU, obviously this is a team that hasn't had a lot of 37-14 leads in their history. So you can understand that in the sense that this is a team that doesn't really know probably what to do with a lead like that. But the one thing you cannot do when you have a lead is give them 2 quick turnovers in your own territory. And that's proven to be the difference to make it, again, just 2 minutes ago it was a 16-point lead. Now it's a tie game. And we are set for kickoff here as Lesnick set to go here. Gordon and Davis back deep. And SNU, see how they can respond here. This time it's going to be Davis who's going to take it at the 7-yard line. Davis heading to the left side, looking for some room, and he's got a little bit. He's to the 30, the 35. He's going to 50, the 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. There's your answer. Touchdown, Southern Nazarene. 94-yard kick return by Jekyll Davis. Oh, my goodness.
Now you would think that Northwestern, they figured it out. Just kick it to Gordon. He's gonna get some yards. He's not gonna get a whole lot. Just whatever you do, don't kick it to 20. And they did the exact opposite.
My goodness. What? There's still 12:34 in the 4th quarter. This has been about as wild as a 4th as you can imagine, as Anguiano is on for the extra point. A very important extra point, might I add. Snap good, hold good, kick up. And the kick is good. So 12:20 now to play here in the 4th quarter. We're going to take a quick break. SNU takes the lead right back, 44-37 over Northwestern. You are watching SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. (44-37) on the 93-yard kick return by Jekyll Davis. First kick return for a touchdown for Southern Nazarene since Sherrod Daniels took an 80-yard kickoff to the house against Southwest Baptist on November 15th. So a little fun fact for you as Anguiano set to kick off. As he's got Horatio Smith back deep. And they're going to do another short kick. This time they're up the field, and it's going to be taken at the 25 by Mitchison. Mitchison up the middle looking for some room, and he's finally dragged down at the 36. You know, that may have been a time you were kind of looking. Both Smith and Mitchison were coming up expecting that short kickoff. That may have been a time just to go deep. But regardless, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Northwestern at the 37-yard line. We talked about in the first half they had such terrible field position. It's been a whole different ballgame in the second half as far as field position.
Whole different ballgame. Both teams kind of getting actually, it's more flipped. Northwestern's getting better position in between the 30 and the 40. Southern Nazarene starting out in the 25-30 area, but SNU with a big-time kick return for a touchdown. This is a whole other game.
What a game it's been as McClurg in the shotgun formation, play action, back to pass, looking, feeling some pressure, and he's going to dump it off to Peyton, who gets the first down. He's forced out of bounds. And I tell you, McClurg just does a good job avoiding pressure, stepping up, taking his time, not panicking, and a nice dump off there to his running back. And it's a first down at the 49-yard line. So Northwestern back at it here. 2 receivers to the right. And he'll look to the sideline.
Now here's where SNU, which they really did this well in the first half. They got to find a way to do it again. The defensive line has to find a way to get back into the backfield.
So shotgun formation here, McClurg. Running back's in motion. McClurg's going to roll out to his left, looking, doesn't have any room, and he's forced out of bounds. He actually got hit out of bounds. He kind of threw the ball, and now a late flag. We'll see what that's about. I see a Southern Nazarene player down in the Northwestern bench, but I don't know if this is going to be a late hit on the quarterback or a late hit somewhere else. We'll see the call. He was called out of bounds. And they call a personal foul on Southern Nazarene. Late hit out of bounds. And this crowd here disagrees with the call. It was right on the cusp of it.
Right on the cusp. Right. I mean, that's a pretty gray area because he got rid of the ball. He threw it away. Couldn't quite see it very well, but he threw it away. And then as he was stepping out of bounds, a hit came.
Yeah, it was a very bang. But you got to remember, especially with quarterbacks, probably 9 out of 10 times, quarterbacks are going to get that call when they're heading towards the sideline and giving themselves up. So into SNU territory goes Northwestern now at the 36-yard line. Play action again. McClurg back to pass. Looking, and he is sacked. And for the first time today, Southern Nazarene finally drags down McClurg. Number 56, Colton Knox, with the sack. And that's going to make it 2nd and long. And so finally the defensive lineman can wrap up McClurg. And so 2nd down and long. Shotgun formation. McClurg back to pass. They're going to set up a screen for Horatio Smith. Smith with some room and a great tackle there by one of the D linemen who came away with the tackle. That was number 63, Tristan McCubbins. And it's going to be 3rd down and 12. This is a big spot here in this game. The bench now, we talked about how dead they were. That kick return changed everything. They are now on their feet, jumping around here. 3rd and 12. Shotgun formation for McClurg. 2 receivers to each side. McClurg back to pass, looking, steps up, fires down the middle of the field. Intercepted! And it is going to be down the right side and forced out of bounds. Dorian Harris. What a game he's had. Somebody got his hand on it. One of the linebackers, I think it was number 56, Colton Knox, who got a piece of it. And then Harris comes away with the interception. He has had one heck of a game this afternoon.
No doubt in my mind, defensive MVP of tonight. No doubt in my mind.
So it'll be 1st and 10 here for Southern Nazarene. Big drive coming up. Not only can they run some clock, but can they possibly get a score here to try and ice this game away after the huge interception? And boy, talk about a game of momentum. Now the momentum has swung right back to the Crimson Storm as here comes Spady. He's going to send a man in motion, and they're going to hand it off to Nate Walker. Walker trying to get to the outside, close to a face mask, but I think he was able to avoid it. Tackle made by number 24, Maurice Wright. Hit him for a 2-yard loss, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 12.
Now just couldn't quite get the block there on the outside. If he gets that block, he's got nothing but green in front of him.
Good tackle there by Wright, because you are exactly right. If he gets around Wright, you're talking about a 10, 15, 20, maybe more yards on that carry. But they are able to get it. And Southern Nazarene in no rush, but you also don't want to play too conservative here. But at the same time, you saw what turnovers have done in this game.
And I wouldn't even say a touchdown here ices the game, James. There's as Nate Walker goes.
Nate Walker to the outside, and it's going to come back. We're going to have a holding call. Walker got sent out of bounds. No flag there, but there's going to be a flag for holding, and Southern Nazarene's going to be going the wrong way. Spady is pleading his case here. And unfortunately, a 10-yard loss, and this crowd is not happy with that call. I was not able to see the holding on that play, but that's going to make it 2nd and I believe 20. Actually, it's going to be a spot foul. Looks like it's going to be about 2nd and 18 here for the Crimson Storm. But if you're SNU, John, if you're SNU, you got to be smart here. If you're going to go back and throw, that's fine. But make sure you're, no turnovers in this situation.
A turnover would be devastating to the SNU Crimson Storm right now. I'm looking for maybe for that tight end. No, they're going to do the jet sweep. I was thinking more of that tight end screen.
It was Zach Walker. He just could not keep his balance. He's finally dragged down. Only picks up maybe a yard, and it's going to be 3rd and long for SNU. And, John, I do like that call. They've gone to the tight end screen twice. It has worked very well for them both times. And you wonder if Northwestern will be ready for it at a time like this. This is a good time. The touchdown they scored was I believe it was a 2nd and 18 when they ran the tight end screen that went for 6. We'll see what they have up their sleeves here. They're running clock. That's the good thing. It's down to 8.5 minutes, but as we've said, Northwestern doesn't need a lot of time to get down the field and score.
Well, they better get a play off. Play clock very close to being done.
Spady back to pass, looking. He's going to fire deep, and he's looking for Rolos. What a catch, but he's out of bounds.
Couldn't quite get the foot down. He landed on his body out of bounds. Couldn't quite get the foot in.
And he could have got elbow, foot, knee, anything that would have gotten inbounds before going out would have counted as a catch. Unfortunately, I believe you're exactly right. I believe his back hit first, and his back was out of bounds. And therefore, it's going to be a punting situation here for the Crimson Storm despite the interception. So Anguiano is going to go back and get ready to send it off. Deshaun Gordon is back deep, sitting at about the 15-yard line. See if Northwestern sends the block here. Nope, they're setting up the return. Good kick here by Anguiano. Fair catch called, and it's going to be taken right at the 21-yard line. So that's where Northwestern will take over. 1st and 10. We'll take a quick break. 8:12 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Crimson Storm lead 44-37. You are watching Crimson Storm football here on SNUathletics.com. And actually, we're not taking a break because it's not a media timeout. We're right back at it. And it's 1st and 10 here for the Rangers. Down by 7. I'm interested to see, are they going to go to the passing? Are they going to keep running the ball? I'm very interested in what they do here. McClurg is going to hand it off to the big Anthony Cota, and he picks up about 7 yards, and it will be 2nd and 3. And now, we talked about earlier when they were running the ball, how they were trying to get to the outside and not run in between the tackles, and it looks like they've kind of figured out that we can do some work in between the tackles.
Well, it only took them about a half to figure that out.
Cota takes it again. Cota, I got to say, some people may look at him and think he's just kind of slow. He's just very patient, it seems like. He's just waiting for his hole to open up as he gets the first down there. And then he hits it hard, and that's a big guy coming at you once he's going downhill. As it's 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line for the Rangers. Clock is under 7.5 now here in the 4th. McClurg back to pass. He pump fakes. He's in trouble, and he's going to be dropped. That will be a sack. And it was number 45, Zach Lloyd, bringing him down. Only a 1-yard loss, but still a sack on the play, 2nd and 11. And I got to say, it's fascinating. Southern Nazarene has done such a great job holding this passing offense in check. It's really been the running game that's hurt them more. McClurg hands it to Williams, and he gets nothing there. Stood up. Williams ends up falling forward for about 2 yards, but it's going to be 3rd and long. And this crowd is getting up and getting into it here as the clock is under 7. And the sideline jumping up and down. This is a big 3rd and 9 here.
I believe that this would be the biggest game of this is the biggest play of the game thus far.
Absolutely. 3rd and 9. McClurg shotgun formation. Man comes in motion. They actually hand it off to Williams. He's got a big hole, and he's going to get all the way out to the 50-yard line. Gets the first down with ease. Southern Nazarene just did not expect run whatsoever there. And a first down for the Rangers as the clock continues to run. So 1st and 10 from midfield. Pistol set here by McClurg. They give it to, actually it's a read option. McClurg keeps it and drags a couple SNU defenders forward for a 6-yard gain, and they are into Crimson Storm territory. And we're at a point in the game that this is going to start turning into 4-down territory for the Rangers.
I'd say they're about in 4-down territory. They're in no man's land right now. So
exactly. So 2nd and 4. Actually, they're going to change this to an empty set. McClurg, watch maybe a draw here. No, he's going to actually go back and throw it, and he's going to go down to his safety valve here, which will be the tight end Jamar Morris, who moves forward for a first down at the 38-yard line. So the Rangers have a nice drive going here as we reach the 5:30 mark. I think everybody who's an SNU fan is just kind of, after every play, looking at the clock. How much time do we have left? The SNU defense really needs to try and get a stop here. Coda back into the game. McClurg hands it to Coda. Coda looking for his hole. Breaks out of a tackle and then powers forward close to the first down. I think he has the first down on a 10-yard rush. And Northwestern has no problem just running the ball here.
And they really shouldn't have a problem. They just want to put it in between the tackles, let Coda do his work. And you're right. He's very patient, just looking for that hole. Somebody said a pretty good analogy that I really, really enjoyed. He could read a Stephen King book and still find a way to get 5 yards.
1st and 10. Coda again patiently finds his hole, and he's going to, I mean, you watch that run, it feels like maybe they have him wrapped up, for a short gain, and he turns it into a 4 or 5 yard gain. He's just such a tough runner to bring down. However, that clock is still going. We're now under 4.5 minutes. This is a big situation here. Could we be looking at overtime? Could we be looking at a situation for a 2-point conversion if they can get in the end? Will they even get in the end zone? A lot of stuff here set to play out with 4 minutes to play.
Well, Northwestern's right where they want to be. They don't want to give SNU a whole lot of time to answer if they do score.
And back to passes. McClurg, and he's sacked! Sacked on the play! It's number 5, Brayan Jackson, who has an interception today. And he came off the edge there. Unbelievable, and that's going to make it 3rd down and very long. It's like about 3rd and 15.
You can see that SNU bench just getting really, really hyped up.
This is 4-down territory, I would think, as we go to around 3.5 minutes. Pistol set here for McClurg. Back to pass, looking, feeling the pressure. Throws to the middle of the field, and it's caught by Smith. He gets about 10 yards there. It's going to make it 4th and short. Clock still running. So what do you do here if you're Northwestern? It's about 4th and 5. I mean, don't be surprised if they hand the ball off.
Well, needless to say, you got to go for it. But if they don't get it here, you could maybe call this one over.
They do still have 3 timeouts in this game as we hit the 3-minute mark, and we're going to get a timeout from Southern Nazarene with 3:02 to go. Let's keep it here with such a big situation. And, John, what do you think? You're the Northwestern coach. Ironically, your passing game has struggled more than your running game. Do you take your big Anthony Coda, put him in the game, and say, hey, go get me 4 yards?
I don't see why you don't do that. Anthony Cota right now, he's being very, very patient, trying to find the hole. He's very, very big. He's 6'2", 244 pounds. I don't understand why you just push him right up the middle, tell him find a hole and get me 4 yards. But then again, SNU, I believe that they're smart enough to realize that's a possibility. So if they do give to Cota, they've got to find a way to get in the backfield and stop him short. Because if he gets even past the line of scrimmage, that's a first down because SNU has not been able to tackle very well tonight.
Cota's 12 carries today for 65 yards. He's averaging about 5 yards a carry. McClurg, the quarterback, has 13 carries for 72 yards, about 5.5 yards a carry. Peyton, 11 carries for 54 yards, just a shade under 5 yards a carry. So they've done it well. They actually have Williams in the game at running back. So let's see what Northwestern has dialed up here on 4th and 5.
With Williams in the game, I would say look for a little bit of a dump-off pass.
McClurg back to pass, looking. He's got Williams in the flat, but he goes down the field and it's dropped. It is dropped. He was looking for Jamar Morris, and it is incomplete. It looked like Jackson was on the coverage, and he had the first down. Williams was in the flat just waiting. He had the dump off, but he went down the middle of the field, and I believe Jackson was able – it should have been caught, but Jackson was actually there as well to help with the breakup. Now, 2:55 left, 3 timeouts still here for the Rangers, so this game is still not over as of yet. But here's why that's big to me, John. 44-37, if the Rangers get the ball back, they've got to throw the ball.
They have to throw the ball.
And they have been struggling. Their running game is what has got them to this point. That plus some turnovers, that's what's gotten them here. And so this will be an interesting – first it'll be interesting what Southern Nazarene does here as obviously 2 hands on the ball here in this situation. Carlson coming in motion. It's going to be faked, and Spady's going to take it up the middle, and he picks up maybe 3 yards. And we'll see our first timeout here with 2:46.
Now I'm thinking right here, if SNU gets 2 first downs or maybe even just 1, you could call this one game over.
I think it only will take 1 first down. At least 1 first down will put a lot of pressure on Northwestern, especially using a timeout here. I think, honestly, what you would probably want here, you want to try to set up something that gets you 3 or 4, maybe 5 yards and sets up a 3rd and short, because – if you get 3 or 4 yards, set up 3rd and short, they've got to take another timeout. Then they only have 1 left. Then you get the first down, and that pretty much would wrap it up in that situation. But we'll see how this plays out. We'll stick with you through this timeout. We'll have another one coming up here in a moment, more than likely. Southern Nazarene looking to get their first home win of the season. They have dominated this game for the most part, but Northwestern with a little spurt here in the 4th quarter actually tied the game before the Jekyll Davis kick return put them back ahead. What a game it has been here at the SNU football field. As Jacob Spady back out. You've got, I like this formation. You got both the Walkers in the backfield. Carlson in motion. Zach Walker takes it to the outside, cuts up the middle, and he's going to pick up maybe 2 yards. Smart by Walker. He thought for a minute he was going to maybe try to go to the outside, but he cut it up to make sure that he didn't get out of bounds. We're going to see 3rd and 5 here in a moment. We've got a timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout with them. You're watching SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. .237 on the clock, 44-37 SNU. Big 3rd and 5 here. Rangers trying to get the ball back. SNU with a first down could all but ice this game. So Spady, shotgun formation. Carlson in motion. They fake it to him on the speed sweep. Spady up the middle. He is close to the first down. I think he might have it. We may get a measurement. Oh, no, he has the first down. First down, SNU. Jacob Spady on the carry. And a big run there that should all but ice the game. Still 2:15 left. The Rangers have not taken their one timeout as of yet. I'm sure they will at some point. And they'll let the play clock run all the way down. And you've got Ramos and Walker in the backfield. Now we're under 2 minutes, under 10 seconds on the play clock. Spady shotgun formation. Well, they snapped it a little early there, I thought. Spady up the middle, though, picks up maybe 2, and now there's the final timeout taken by Northwestern. So as of right now, you got second down here. So you will probably – the Rangers could get it back with about 20 seconds left, if I'm not mistaken.
If they play it right, as long as SNU does not cross that pylon, or does not cross that first down pylon, you could – it's over.
They could get it back with 20 seconds left, which would still be, I mean, if you're punting, and that could still be a tough situation.
As well as Carlos Anguiano has been punting today, that's a hairy situation. So Northwestern's got to be thinking, just strip the ball somehow, get an interception, whatever it takes to get the ball. Because if they get a first down here, it's over.
It is.
But if we can get to a punt, that's a little bit better, but that's still hairy because Carlos Anguiano can boot it 50-plus yards.
2nd and 8 for Southern Nazarene, looking to wrap this contest up 44-37. Spady in the shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the right. Walker in motion. Oh, a little bit of a scary snap, but it's Nate Walker onto the outside, and he's dragged down around the 45-yard line. Some people are wanting a horse collar, I believe, but it looked like he got him around the shoulder area and was okay there. And that's going to bring up third down. However, clock is running. It will get to about a minute left, and they can run a final play. And if it gets a first down, it's over. If it doesn't, Northwestern can get the ball back with about 20 seconds left. Either way, you're in pretty good position if you're Southern Nazarene, as long as you play it smart here.
Now, I don't think I would have to explain this to Andy Lambert down there, but do not pass the football, even if it's 3rd and 8. Give it to Nate Walker or Zach Walker. Let him get outside. Let him move. Just don't pass the football.
And Carlson came to fake the jet sweep at Spady to the left side. He's going to be dragged down right at a minute. And there goes the clock. The 40-second play clock is going to. It's synced up to be about 20 seconds if the play clock went to 0. As a matter of fact, if I'm SNU, I'd just take a delay of game here. It doesn't hurt.
Just take
you go
the delay.
back 5 yards, and then you get the clock to 20 seconds. So there's nothing wrong here with just taking the delay of game, so you have exactly 20 seconds remaining, which means by the time this punt's over, it probably will be about 10 seconds remaining. When it's all said and done. What I can tell you is Northwestern is probably going to be bringing the heat here to try and block this punt. And they're going to do exactly that. I guess Coach Lambert heard me from up here in my headset. And there's going to be 21 seconds remaining somehow. But 21 seconds on the clock. And we'll have a punt coming up here in just a moment. Oh, that's why they took a timeout, actually, instead of taking the delay of game, which is fine. We'll take a quick break. Final seconds coming up. You're watching SNU football here on SNUathletics.com. So here we go. 21 seconds remaining. Anguiano is back to punt. The most important thing for Anguiano is to get the punt off. And here we go. Snap will also be important here. A little high, but Anguiano gets off a beauty. Very high punt. Fair catch will be made at the 28-yard line. 15 seconds now on the clock. They will mark him at the 29. So Northwestern, they have got 71 yards to go in 15 seconds. We know their offense is efficient. Can it be this efficient?
Well, they don't have any timeouts left, so they got to work that corner. They got to work the edges, find the routes on the outside, run those corner routes. But I would say you got about 2 for sure, maybe 3 plays before you just take a shot towards the end zone.
Yes, and they got to remember, hey, first downs, the clock does stop for a moment. So, you can keep that in mind. I don't know if it's a risk you want to take, but it is something to keep in mind. So here we go. A slew of SNU defenders back in their own territory. McClurg back to pass. He's rolling out, looking. Now he's going to come back the other way. Throws it to the left side and smartly throws it away there, but 7.2 seconds now remaining. So McClurg, I imagine, honestly, you may be better off trying to, get a short pass and try some laterals. Because I don't know if McClurg's going to have the arm to get it all the way to the end zone. If he does, then kudos to him.
I mean, I would love you to be Doug Flutie too, but there's only so many Doug Fluties.
So McClurg back in the shotgun. Crowd is on its feet as the Crimson Storm looking for their first home win of the season. McClurg back to pass. Looking. Hit as he throws. Almost intercepted. 0.5 seconds remaining. And they just let the clock run out for some reason.
I don't know if it's over.
I don't think that's going to hold. There's going to be at least a second left. Anthony Stevens went right off of his hands. They're going to get another second here, or at least they're going to get one more play, one more chance. It is technically third down, not that it really matters here. The clock's at 15 minutes, which is definitely not right. And now it's at 15 seconds, still not right. They're actually going to let 15 seconds run. And they're going to wait. 3, 2, there's 1. All right, 1 second on the clock. Everybody back. McClurg is going to set up. He's looking. He's going to be hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Southern Nazarene has won the game 44-37 over Northwestern Oklahoma State. What a game here at SNU football field.
Now that's only the second overall win that SNU has against Northwestern State, but because the other one was on a forfeit, this is the first time that they beat them outright.
On the field.
This feels good.
What a win here for Southern Nazarene. They snap a 3-game losing streak. They get their first win over Northwestern, on the field at least. And they're going to improve to 4-5 on the season and 4-5 in the GAC. A winning record still very, very much in play to finish the season with 2 of the bottom teams in the conference coming up.
Exactly. They have to go to Weatherford next weekend, which just lost to OBU. So OBU is now 1-8. They were 0-8 coming into this weekend. So, and looking at Southwestern, I believe I have their schedule. I have their record right here. They are 2-7 right now. So SNU looking at a 2-7 team. Going over there. Any away game is a hostile environment, but SNU definitely has an easier opponent that they've faced all year. They opened with two of the more difficult opponents, and now they face two of the bottom teams. As even with that win, OBU is still the bottom of the conference. They're still in last place, in 11th place, or excuse me, 12th place. They're in 12th place. So SNU in a great position to clinch their very first winning season as members of NCAA Division II.
What a game it was. As we mentioned, 44-37. Some final stats coming your way here in a moment. A game that Southern Nazarene dominated for a majority of the game. And I think the most impressive thing that you can take from this, John, is, you had a game you were dominating, and then you faced some adversity when Northwestern came back to tie it. A lot of momentum was on their side. You get the big kick return, take it back, and then you find a way to get a win, which is very good for a young team. Because it looked for a second that maybe this was going to go on the wrong end for them.
It looked for a second, and for that first half, awesome football team, exactly what we've been wanting to see all year. But then just 2 big turnovers and 2 quick scores by the Rangers put them in a position that they just couldn't, that was kind of new to them, and they tied up the game. But then one 94-yard kick return just changed this game for the better, and SNU realized we're going to win this thing.
Some final stats for you, starting with first downs. Northwestern actually led the way in first downs, 24-20 for Southern Nazarene. Southern Nazarene rushes for 359 yards. Northwestern, on the other hand, 224 yards. In the passing game, Southern Nazarene 88 yards, which is actually what they had in the first half. Did not do a lot of passing in the second half. Northwestern picked it up in the second half with 211 yards passing, but still well below their average of 308. So an excellent job by the SNU secondary. The 447 total yards for the Crimson Storm, 435 for the Rangers. As we take a look at a couple other 10 penalties on the day for Southern Nazarene, definitely something they're going to want to get cleaned up for 100 yards. 9 penalties for Northwestern. Time of possession 30-13 for Southern Nazarene, 29-47 for Northwestern. 7-14 for third downs, and then 6-12. 6-12 for Southern Nazarene, 7-14 for Northwestern. Both teams were 0 for 1 on fourth down. As we will take a look at a few of the individual stats here from this afternoon. Jake McClurg, put in a nice day, 13 of 25 on the day for 207 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked 3 times. He also had a pair of interceptions. A lot of people forget, though, Isaiah Weed actually started the game but only went 2 of 7 for 4 yards and was eventually pulled. In the running game, it was Anthony Cota leading the way, 16 carries for 90 yards and a touchdown. McClurg had 17 carries for 60 yards. And then Jacob Payton, 11 carries for 54 yards. On the receiving end, leading the way for Northwestern was Deshaun Gordon, 3 catches for 43 yards. Miles Mitchison had 1 catch for 57 yards. Horatio Smith, 2 catches for 34 yards. And then you had Gavin Gardner, 2 catches for 32 yards, including a touchdown. Defensively, for Northwestern, leading the way was number 24, Maurice Wright, 9 tackles on the day, including a tackle for loss. Number 26, Shane Collins, added 7 tackles on the day. And then, of course, the interception by Driscoll, one of the only turnover. Well, there was also the fumble on the kick return. So they were able to force 2 turnovers on the day. For Southern Nazarene and their offense, Jacob Spady, great day for him. 5 of 11 for 88 yards, threw for a touchdown. He also had 1 interception. But then he also carried 20 times for 141 yards and 2 scores. Nate Walker also with a huge game, 14 carries, 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. Daniel Ramos with some nice carries, 7 of them for 33 yards. Zach Walker, 4 carries for 26 yards. Devin Brady, 1 catch for 38 yards with the touchdown. Reese Carlson had 2 catches for 13 yards. Zach Walker, 1 for 21. And then Hicks, 1 for 16. So that was the offense for SNU. The SNU defense really stood tall today. Angel Hernandez, 8 tackles on the day. Slinker with 8. Roll with 7. Jordan with 5. Lloyd with 5. And then you had I'd say if you're going to give a game ball, you got to give it to Dorian Harris. He only had 2 tackles, but he had the interception. He had just numerous pass breakups. He was absolutely outstanding today. And then Jekyll Davis had a great day defensively, and he also had you could say the game-winning kick return. His 93-yard kick return was huge. And really, honestly, the whole secondary for SNU, I thought really played outstanding today.
You're exactly right. I was waiting for you to give an honorable mention to Brayon Jackson, who had an interception.
And a sack.
And a sack. So Brayon played a great game, one of his better games of the year. But you're right. Dorian Harris, in my opinion, gets the defensive game ball. And Nate Walker undisputedly gets a game ball for the offense.
Well, and then you talk with people like Carmouche, who, we didn't call his name a lot, but he still made a big difference in the secondary throughout the day. I think just as a unit, they were outstanding against a very, very high-powered offense, and just what a win for Southern Nazarene. One, it's got to feel good to get a win at home. Mm-hmm. And granted, you've had, in their defense, they've had some of the toughest teams in the conference coming through to their home stadium, and that's always going to be tough when you have some of the teams that are at the top of the GAC.
Well, you look at who they lost to here at home. They lost to Southeastern Oklahoma State, which is still at the top of the conference, even though they just got a manhandling today by Harding, a team that SNU beat Looking at another team that beat them at home, Southern Arkansas, but only by 12, I believe.
Washita Baptist.
And Washita Baptist, which only beat them by 7. Washita and Arkansas Tech are which is the other team that beat them. Arkansas Tech actually won today, 38-10 in Ada tonight. But all 3 of those teams could vie for the GAC championship. All 4 of those teams, excuse me.
I think when as we're winding down towards the end of the season, you got 2 more games left. I think, we've both been with this team for most of the season or all the season and kind of seen this team grow. And you knew coming in this was a young team. There's some seniors scattered in, some team leaders, but you look at like the future of this program, and you have 2 games left to possibly be over 500, and you just got to like what you're seeing. Some young guys who are making plays and who are definitely going to be some future leaders on this team, and they're making plays now. And I think if you're Coach Lambert, you've got to be very, very proud of how your team has continued to grow and continue to do good things throughout the season.
I mean, coming into the season, we realized whenever SNU got their very first win as a Division II program against Oklahoma Baptist in 2015, that was you win 1 game, and then the next year you win 2 games. Now, as a half joking, a lot of SNU students were saying, well, since we won 2 last year, we got to win 4 this year. Well, they've matched that.
Guess what?
They got number 4 today, and there's a great possibility they could get to 6.
Absolutely.
So I mean, in a lot of people's opinion, SNU is ahead of schedule in developing this program. So just a couple, and the kids that are on the team right now, and the leadership that's growing. Jacob Spady's going to be on this team for one more year. So you have a leader at quarterback coming in next year, but SNU heading in the absolute right direction. If SNU can finish over 500, that will pose them as a potential threat to some of the bigger name teams out there.
2 more games left on the schedule. Next Saturday, the Crimson Storm will go to Southwestern down in Weatherford, Oklahoma at Milam Stadium. That is a 5:30 kickoff. And then the finale will be here at SNU football field, 1 p.m. kickoff.
Homecoming weekend.
I imagine it will be senior day as well, as they will welcome in their rivals, Oklahoma Baptist, on November 11th, a great day that happens to be my birthday, but we'll be here for the broadcast. It'll be a birthday broadcast at 1 p.m. against Oklahoma Baptist. Obviously, will be a very exciting finale here at SNU football field. And I think with all those, just any final thoughts, John?
Just that it was great to be on the mic again, and SNU pulls out a win, which is always great. The next 2 weeks for SNU football are going to be really exciting.
For John Hale, this has been James Hill. We thank all of you for joining us this evening for a great, great football contest. Your final score, one more time, Southern Nazarene puts together a very good all-around game, overcomes some adversity, and is able to pick up the first home win of the season, defeating Northwestern Oklahoma State 44-37 at SNU football field. Thank you to John and all the hardworking people in the production area. This has been James Hill. We hope you have a wonderful night. And again, our next broadcast will be Senior Day, the season finale on November 11th at 1 p.m. against Oklahoma Baptist. Thank you, and good night.